You again, do you want to get paid twice to sell your home? I know I would, but how's that even possible? So learn how to get paid twice and get a free valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com. One more time, Orchard.com.
From the UBO Business Services Studios, you're listening to KTXX-FM and HD1 BK, KTAE-AM Elgin, K270CO Round Rock.
They've done it again, folks. Dr. Kyle Rhodes and Lake Travis Eye and Laser Center are the first in Central Texas to offer the latest FDA-approved multifocal lens. It's called Clearview 3. This new lens offers superior distance and near vision as well as improved contrast in low light. For the latest in vision technology, go see Dr. Kyle Rhodes and Dr. Tommy Dang at Lake Travis Eye and Laser Center or online at LakeTravisEyeandLaserCenter.com. Tell them Ken sent you.
Hey, it's Eric for Divided Sky Roofing and Solar, your full-service solar company. We're into summer, the hottest season, and the power bills are going through the roof. Stop paying the power company. Pay yourself with the new Timberline Solar Shingle Roof. John Hardy and his staff at Divided Sky are solar experts. They can repair and service your existing solar roofing system and are NAPSET certified. That's the solar version of a master plumber. Divided Sky Roofing and Solar. Find them online at DividedSkyAustin.com. Texas license TECL 37397.
Skip the surprise add-ons and hidden fees and come see Henna Chevrolet.
I went to this one Chevy dealer, and they wanted $5,000 over sticker for all these absurd additions that were packaged as add-ons. I came in because of the online price, but apparently that wasn't the actual price, so I left and went to Henna. Long story short, I love my new Silverado.
For crystal clear pricing, find new roads at HennaChevyAustin.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GPS for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GPS for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GPS for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
Guests on the horn appear courtesy of the Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina Hotline. Vaqueros now delivers and offers curbside pickup. For info on placing your lunch or dinner order, visit vaqueroscafe.com.
You damn right. Hope everybody is having a good Friday. Holy moly, that heat is really coming this weekend. We could say it anyway, but they are literally talking about maybe highest recorded temperature at any spot on planet Earth. And I think it's tomorrow that could happen. If not, by Sunday it could happen. Please make sure you're staying cool and hydrated. Big 12 Media Days are over, but we are still recapping. We'll go over some Longhorn quotes that came out of Big 12 Media Days. Oh, I saw a couple things I'd be pretty excited about if I had burnt orange in my closet. We will get to that. We'll get to some NFL stuff as well. Some top 10 lists for different positions to get you fired up for the season. Do you need a round number? Do you? Are you sure? 50 days from now is Texas and Rice. September 2nd. Texas and Rice, TCU and Colorado. September 2nd. Yeah, exactly. The first big college weekend, 50 days away. 55 days from now is the NFL's first game, and we're 58 days from the NFL's first Sunday. Let's go. I'm Chad Hastings, trying to stay cool, and you'll pardon me if I might be leaning a little bit, because I do have a week of vacation next week. But we'll get to that. I am joined, once again, by the one and only Isaiah Collier. What's up, Zay?
Ain't nothing wrong with a little lean, Chad. You should enjoy getting ready for your vacation next week. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, remember, kids, there's nothing wrong with a lean. Just don't get into the lean. Don't go messing with that.
Yeah, be careful with that.
If they ask if you want to try the lean, say no.
Yeah.
Closest you need to get to that is listening to the music it produced.
Yeah, don't even mess with the kids' version of cough syrup.
No, don't mess with that. Listen to something that's been chopped and screwed and drink Dr. Pepper. That's what you need to do, kids. Do not mix it with anything. All right. Well, maybe a little Tito's vodka. That could work out. Zay, you doing all right today?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Just trying to get my camera right for Twitch and the YouTubers.
Got to make sure.
Yeah, we good. Yeah, we good. All right.
Our man Jacob made you look so good at Big 12 Media Day.
Yo, he did me right.
Sitting next to Dana Holgerson. Now you got a little bit of that. You're trying to make sure you're looking right.
Yeah, man. Still got the fresh fade on Chris, man. Gotta make sure you look right. That's key.
Yeah, there was a lot of folks looking right at Big 12 Media Days, and we're going to continue to break that down. Zay, before I get into these quotes from Texas, I watched an interview today with a guy that I got to introduce you to at Big 12 Media Days. Newey Scruggs is one of my favorite media guys ever. He is a legend up in the Dallas area covering the Cowboys, Mavericks, and everything else. Newey is a great dude, NBC5 in Dallas, at Newey Scruggs on Twitter if you want to follow him. And we saw Newey, and I introduced you to Newey, and we were just talking about stuff. He loves to talk college sports and every bit of sports. But I sat down today and watched an interview he did with Brett Yormark, and they went back and forth for a good 4 or 5 minutes, something like that. Man, I cannot help but root for Yormark. He just has this air about him. Here's what it feels like. If you've ever been in Vegas or whatever your casino is, you're in Lake Charles, you're wherever you are, right? You're hanging up in Oklahoma up at the, what's that called? WinStar? All that?
World Resort.
All that stuff. And you're walking by the craps table and somebody's got a little heater going. You don't know them. You've never met them. But they got a little heater going and there's energy around it. And you just kind of get wrapped up in it. That's what Brett Yormark feels like to me right now. He's a guy who's rolled a couple of decent numbers, and now the crowd's starting to gather. It's not my money. It's not my conference. But I'm rooting for that dude. I hope he rolls a 7. I really do. I hope he wins everybody around him because I feel like Mike Gundy's at that table and I feel like all these other and Dykes and everything, they're loving on him too. I hope that dude keeps rolling good numbers. I like the vibe I get off of him.
Yeah, he does have a cool swagger about him, and it kind of goes back to his days of being with Jay-Z as a partner and stuff like that. Like, he has a little bit of that swag, and you're right, you can feel the energy coming from him. And if you're Steve Sarkisian and this Texas football team, you need to use what he said as motivation on the way out.
Yep.
Anything that you could use as bulletin board material, use it. If it's from the commissioner, somebody that, Cowboy Stadium that was working security that say, hey, I hate Texas, use it from him. Like, it don't matter. Any way you can, you need motivation for this season because a lot of people are picking you to win it. And when Brett Yormark said, hey, we're in the best place we've ever been in when it comes to the Big 12, I'm Steve Sarkisian. I'll take offense to that because we on our way out, and y'all should be hurt to be losing us. Not feeling good about it. Now, he has to say that. I get it.
Yeah, and remember, technically, he hadn't lost him yet. He's saying right now we're in the best spot we've been.
I ain't try. That's not what I'm trying to hear.
That's not what you heard?
No,
okay.
That's not what I heard.
I got you.
Because y'all know we gone next year.
Uh-huh.
So this ain't no way this could be the best spot you're in. I don't care if we're here now and you're embracing this season. Ain't no way. Again, anything you can use, Chad. Anything you could use. I might be reaching a little bit. I might be going out of my way to find something, but that's what Jordan used to do. That's what Kobe used to do. They used to make stuff up just to get extra motivation.
Hey, I tried to let you use the fact that they set Texas down at the other end of the stadium, and you said, no, man, they're close to the media meal.
You're right. You know what? You're right. I need to change that mindset.
There we go.
Because I was taking everything in, being in Dallas Cowboys Stadium, Jerry World. It's big, all the excitement, all the media around. I was embracing it. Your boy was trying to be very, very positive. Ooh. But F that, you are right. They disrespected us, putting us at the very end.
There you go.
They stopped serving the food way too early before they even got there. Food was gone.
Interesting.
The food was gone.
Interesting.
So what I was saying don't even make no sense no more.
Did we talk about on the show yet Steve Sarkisian making all the media wait? Have we talked about that one yet?
We have not talked about that.
Because they made Texas, and understand this, when you watch the video, by the way, go back to that YouTube page. Everything is up now. Shout out to Jacob Standard, our digital guy, and the crew that was up there at Arlington for getting it all up there. All the player interviews, me breaking down all 14 helmets, but also Zay, when I'm pointing out to Zay where the Longhorns are for the media stuff, for the breakout session, it's not just that Texas is at the far side 15-yard line. When I say far side, I mean you had to walk all the way over to that 15. There was no entrance over by that side. So to me, it was a little disrespectful. And they were supposed to start the media session at about 4:05. And I have it on fairly good word that somebody overheard Steve Sarkisian say to, I think it was like a national media person or something like that. Look, or maybe somebody that worked with the Big 12. Somebody associated with the event, he just looked at him and said, hey, talk to me about golf for like 5 or 8 minutes here so we can kill some time. Something like that. And he waited and he waited and he waited, and he didn't start till about 4:25. And, they had to go till about 5:05. So he took a little time for himself, and then he got up to the podium. So, but I agree with you. Find any chip on the shoulder you can. Your Mark is in the spot of, because everybody wants to ask him about what happens next. And that's fair. Just like they want to ask Texas and OU about what happens next.
For sure.
But I thought all three versions of it did a pretty good job of, look, we got 1 year in the Big 12. We'll deal with all that when we get there. And for your Mark, Newey asked him about what's your dream in terms of number of teams. Where do you want to go? He gave a great answer about, I'd like a little more East Coast because I love that New York market, and you know that. And I'd like a little more west because if you can get out west and take advantage of some time zones and have multiple time zones, I think that's advantageous. But he didn't get specific.
Right.
He just kind of laid out the plan of here's what we'd like to do. And Newey also asked him a great realistic question. He said, right now, are you the number 3 Power 5 conference? And I wondered if your Mark was going to get weird about it and get a little saucy and try to say, I think we might be number 1. But
after the SEC and Big Ten.
Correct. But he didn't. He said, all I know is when I took this job, a lot of people thought we were number 5. And right now, I'd argue we are number 3. And he said, I wasn't going to say it, but you just set me up to say it and asked me to say it, so I will. Yes, I think we're number 3.
Okay.
So
I respect that. A realist.
And I don't think anybody right now would say the Pac-12 is above where the Big 12 is, and it's the only question would be ACC, I guess. So I'd give the Big 12 the love there. So I enjoyed, checking out your Mark and what was coming out of Big 12 Media Days. It also continues to be the discussion about Texas, the conference championship, who's going to challenge them, and all that other stuff. So are you ready to hear from some of your players and coaches?
Yeah, let's go.
Because these quotes got me kind of fired up. And it's not my team, it's your team. It's the team of the people, a lot of people listening right now if you're a Longhorn fan. So I'll start with player stuff. We'll end up with Sark. So this comes from, and shout out to the crew over at orangebloods.com. I was reading through War Room stuff. Thursday night is their War Room night. So they were just throwing some quotes out from Big 12 Media Days. Quinn Ewers mentioned that the skill position players are not worried about getting a lot of catches and padding their stats. Jordan Whittington told someone at Big 12 Media Days, Zay, there's always enough balls to win the game. That's enough balls to keep us happy. Xavier Worthy agreed with one word, bet.
Which and you know what that means now.
I do.
As long as we've been doing the show, that has come up early on. Probably in 2022, you were like, what does bet mean? I had to put you on game. So you got that right off the bat, huh?
Yes, and I want to thank you for helping be my translator.
Oh, yeah, bet.
The cool to English translation. And that's a quick affirmation.
Yeah.
Of, yep. That's a cool way to say yep. I like that, though. If I'm a fan, that's what I want to hear. That all my receivers are not sitting there thinking about, I got to have my 5 catches. I got to have 8. I'm really looking for 10. I'm really looking for this many yards. They're looking for wins, Zay. At least that's what they're saying now.
Right.
That's great.
It is great. And at the end of the day, you got to have people in your locker room who are leaders and very unselfish, because we know the wide receiver position, you could be a prima donna as a wide receiver. Those guys, they're built different. They're used to having the ball in their hands. And when you come from high school football, then you come into the University of Texas, most likely you were the best player on your high school football team. So you have to adapt Like, that's a different transition for a lot of guys, and some guys struggle with it, and some guys, they buy into the culture and the system very fast. So, with how deep that wide receiver room is, you got to have that mindset. You better have that mindset. And when you have leaders like Jordan Whittington and guys like Xavier Worthy who have been there and done that and have had really good seasons and have played really good football, and then you're bringing in guys like A.D. Mitchell and Jonte Cook and DeAndre Moore, and hopefully Isaiah Nayor can get back to 100% so we could see him on the field, plus J.T. Sanders, which I apologize, Texas fans, I don't talk about J.T. Sanders enough. He's an absolute star.
There you go.
It sucks that sometimes he gets lost, but he needs to be put in this wide receiver room too, even though he's a tight end. All of those weapons, again, you have to have very unselfish guys, because at the end of the day, the big picture is winning the Big 12 championship and putting yourself in a situation to win a national championship.
CJ, we're so good for each other. You helped me learn what the hell bet means, and I put the old man ingredient in you, and you start thinking about tight ends when you didn't even have to.
You have to.
Well done.
After Brock Bowers at Georgia, they're all world tight end. It's JT Sanders. Like, that's what it is.
He's the next guy I would think of without going all over the country. Like, there's probably some cat at Michigan or Wisconsin that we're not thinking of.
Yeah, there's probably some underground dude that's going to come about and be a star this season.
And I'm sure Lincoln Riley can come up with some guy that's pretty badass at USC. Usually USC occasionally will give you one of those guys, but I'm with you. I'd put Sanders right up there.
And as athletic as JT Sanders is, especially catching the ball, his blocking was underrated last year. Yes, he had some missed blocks and some missed assignments, but his first full year starting, you're going to see that. Now in year 2, I don't expect those mistakes like we saw last year, and I expect even more when he's out there running routes and catching the ball.
So, Zay, I'm glad you brought up blocking, because I also got excited on this one, not just from the level of us covering Texas and knowing we talked to so many Longhorn fans, but also from that flex perspective, talking about the high school kids going to that next level. We all know Jonte Cook coming out of DeSoto. Well, the discussion around that, when Worthy was being asked about Jonte Cook and the rest of the room and all of that, they were asking about, hey, look, the media asked Jordan Whittington and Worthy, hey, when Xavier goes to the league, who's going to fill the role? Whittington chimes in as Worthy said, hey, Jonte Cook is basically my clone. And Whittington said, same person.
What?
Same person. They both think Cook and Worthy even look the same. Worthy went on to say that Cook has already picked up the playbook and is running routes full speed. Quote, I feel like he's going to have a big year coming up. I also read, after what you just said, I also read that Jonte Cook has made it a point to focus on blocking, because apparently Chris Jackson specifically tells these guys, as long as I am the wide receivers coach here, you will not get any kind of serious playing time if you don't block for us.
Hell yeah.
And Jonte Cook apparently is taking that to heart. So if you're out there and you're one of those thinking, I'd like to see something from these freshmen, I would continue to tell you to think about Jonte Cook, because I think he could be something else for this team.
Yeah, you've been talking about Jonte Cook ever since you saw him last summer go off in the 7-on-7, and he had a terrific year for DeSoto on the way to their 5A state championship. And, man, if they're comparing them to Xavier Worthy, that's big time.
Right?
Xavier Worthy, when healthy, he can go. I know a lot of people are thinking, well, Xavier Worthy last year, he didn't put up numbers. Dude had a broken hand.
Yeah.
So he didn't deserve those looks that he was getting last year, all those drops and stuff.
But he fought through it, right?
He did fight through it. And that shows a lot of toughness, that shows a lot of heart, and that shows a lot of leadership. So I definitely salute Xavier Worthy for that. But, yeah, man, I thought he also had too much responsibility in punt returns. And I would love to see Jonte Cook back there, because if he's picking up on stuff, like, he kind of has that it factor. And putting him back there, that relieves Xavier Worthy. He's not taking as many hits, and he can focus on just catching passes while you're putting the ball into your playmaker's hands no matter what. Because like Jordan Whittington say, not everybody can eat. That's just being realistic. Some guys are going to have better games depending on the matchups, and hopefully Sark dials that up to the T. But, yeah, I love hearing that. I love Jordan Whittington and Xavier Worthy shouting out the freshmen. That's big time once September comes around.
Yeah, get you a couple more comments as we go along. I got another one from Whittington I think y'all are going to like, Texas fans, and a Sark quote. Yesterday, I'm going to give you both sides of it here. I'm trying to be as fair. You know that's who I am. Yesterday, I told you if I was a Longhorn fan and heard Sark talking about that run game, I told you it made me mad. But today, Sark talking about this particular thing, it's a great quote, and if I'm a Texas fan, it would fire me up for the season. We'll get into that this hour as well. Also, somebody reminds us, Zay, USC has Lake McCree from Lake Travis. Wait a minute. Is McCree Lake Travis? Or was it Lake Travis? Yeah, I guess it is.
Sounds right.
Okay. Yeah. But yes, McCree, and then his brother's still in town here, right? His brother's still in school. I think that's right. So yes, USC does have that talent. All right. And yeah, somebody says, Worthy with one hand had a better season than Evan Stewart. Well, that's an interesting comment.
Get him.
How about that? A little smack talk.
I mean, of course, Evan Stewart was a freshman last year, but
of course that came from Chris Bennett.
I respect that, CB.
The fan of Aggie tears more than anybody I have ever been around. And I've never actually met Chris Bennett because I'm still convinced he's a supercomputer. The John Wick comments by Quinn Ewers fired me up, says Chris Bennett. That's another thing we need to talk about today, Zay.
Yo.
Quinn Ewers making the John Wick reference, but specifically saying, look, we get everybody always says we're going to have a target on us. We're putting a target on the other teams.
Right. Yeah, you got to pretend like you got your dog killed. And they put your killed dog, and they knocked on the door, and you opened it, and there was your dog. You better have that mindset, because Keanu, once he saw that dog laid out, plateau, it was a wrap.
Is that really what created all those movies?
Basically.
Man.
Yeah, he was trying to get out the game.
Okay.
Like John Wick, number 1, episode 1, he was like, man, I've done my killing. I've done my assassinating. I'm good. I got my money. I got my pet. It's just going to be me and my dog.
Just
then
need to hang.
Killed the dog. For somebody who loves his dog,
yeah,
I get it.
That's
I
rough.
get why they have foes. So he hasn't stopped since.
That's
and
rough.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers, you have that mindset that, oh, man, these Texas fans were hating on me. They wanted me to be replaced against Oklahoma State. And everybody said, I ain't going to be the man. That's your killed dog. Use that.
Yeah.
You are the hunter, not the hunted. I'm with it. I love it. I love it.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I would have loved that too. That's got to be, that mindset is great, and they've got to be in attack mode and know that everybody's coming for them. There's a lot of good confidence around this team. Does it get into that area where it's too cocky? It's too much? We'll see. But you need that confidence, and Texas certainly has it. We'll get you some more of those comments coming up. Also, just a quick headline that made me laugh today. Zay, did you catch this one? Tennessee committed hundreds of infractions within the football program, but they won't serve a postseason ban. They're just going to fine them $8 million.
Come on, man.
The NCAA. I can just feel old Miss Girl emailing me right now, all pissed off, and she should be. Of course, Tennessee got away with that in the football program. All right, coming up, we'll hit a little NFL as well. Actually, we'll go pro football and a little pro hoops. Top 10 wide receivers in the NFL, according to Pro Football Focus. And Zay tells me there are Longhorns and Aggies on the list. Is it Aggie, and Longhorns, or is it just one? We'll find out on that list. Plus, former Longhorn Kevin Durant was in town hanging with the basketball team. Zay'll give you that update a little later in the hour. I'll give you an update in the crap bag, including what's going on at Wimbledon. We got a lot to get to today. Jump on in if you want. Specs text line is 337-3776. This is The Horn. All right, this is Chad. Let's talk a little Apple leasing. Any make, any model, any car, any truck. They can make it just so simple for you. Now, look, what kind of lunatic would go out this weekend to look for a car or a truck or anything they're looking for. You'd be nuts to go to a dealership or multiple dealerships in this kind of weather. 105, 108, they're going to have a record out in Death Valley. What you do is you call Apple Leasing, just like I did. It was a phone call from air conditioning. You call them up at 346-9977, and you tell them what you've been looking at. Obviously, on the internet, you got all kinds of ways to look up car information, including at appleleasing.com. Go check it out. Go check out some of those monthly payments they can get you. Go check out different options. You can build up a quote right there online. They've got a live chat feature online to help you out. It's the easiest and safest way to get a new car. They'll find all kinds of options for you. Once you make that ultimate decision, they will deliver it right to you, and for no problem at all. Deliver it right to your driveway and drive away your trade-in if that's what you need them to do. You'll get all the discounts and incentives that the dealers are going to get you, but you're going to have all that hassle taken away. It's going to be so simple. You'll love the process. 346-9977, or check them out online at appleleasing.com.
Chad and Zay.
Okay. What we got going on here? Now I think I got it. The Charlie Daniels Band?
That's right.
There it is.
Nice. I didn't know if you would get this.
Hey, there's only one dude that sounds like that. Obviously, everybody knows Devil Went Down to Georgia, but Charlie's got one of those. What's the song called? Yeah, baby.
In America.
In America. Charlie Daniels Band, not afraid to give you a patriotic song from time to time. They get us started today on a Friday. By the way, Zay, let's just stop proceedings right now and let me apologize because I did make the biggest local high school football mistake you could make, and I did hesitate because I think I mixed my lakes up. I am so sorry because the McCrees are Westlake, not Lake Travis. Somebody texted McCree was at Lake Travis, and I when I saw Lake McCree from Lake Travis, I'm like, wait, what? And it's like, yeah, Heath's older brother, he's at Westlake. So maybe it's both?
So Lake
was Lake Travis?
He went to Lake Travis.
Okay. So
That's
what's
at USC. He went to Lake Travis.
So this is a family divided on the lakes. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I guess so.
Older brother.
I guess it could happen. Yeah.
Older brother, one lake. Younger brother's at the other lake. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It can happen. Obviously, a shout out to all that talent around the area. The reason McCree got brought up is we were talking tight ends. Zay said he thinks JT Sanders might be the second best tight end in America after Mr. Bowers at Georgia. And I threw in USC, and I said, I know Lincoln Riley's probably throwing to one. Somebody reminded us that it was McCree as one of those guys that he'll be throwing to this year. All right, so a lot of stuff going on today. We'll get into some NFL lists coming up here in just a sec.
Shout out to Craig Way on Light the Tower having Mac Brown on.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
That was great.
That was incredible. I love Mac, what he did for the University of Texas, man. He changed the culture here. And, yeah, just him and his perspective now at this age, like, you could tell he still loves coaching. He still loves learning. He still loves teaching. Like, for somebody that age to still have that motivation to keep going, it's cool. I appreciate it a lot. And when he talked about, how DKR used to let him know, like, hey, man, when you said that your team quit on you, go back and apologize. Because some guys might have quit. But the team as a whole, they ain't quit, dog. And Mac, he said, man, you're right. And he took that in, embraced that, and it definitely helped him out through the course of his coaching career. So just things like that, it's really refreshing to hear because, when you win national championships and you've been at the highest level of college football, some guys think they know it all.
Yeah.
Some guys, they're not willing to say, I could still learn. I could still get better with the way that these kids have changed and the way that college football has changed, being able to adapt to that and embrace that. A lot of guys can't do it, and Mac Brown has done a hell of a job over there in Chapel Hill. So, yeah, great interview, Craig.
It was
as usual.
Excellent interview. Yeah, I listened to a lot of that as I was driving. And did you hear Mac Brown say one of the lessons he learned at ESPN is how hard the broadcasters' jobs are?
I did.
And coaches, and how hard the media's job is, and writers?
Yeah.
I've worked with a few people over the years that would definitely wish he'd have learned that lesson a little bit sooner, but that's a whole nother story. That was good, though. That's I like to hear that. Mac's one of those guys that if you're listening carefully, he will admit to you later on about big mistakes he might have made in the past.
Right.
You just have to be paying attention. Sometimes it's a year later. I remember a year later at one point he would we just didn't run the ball at all in that game last year with Oklahoma. And I'm like, well, what did he just say? What did he say? That's what he got mad at everybody about for us saying, and now he's admitting it. But you had to wait for it. But he is, like you said, he is evolving over time. Hopefully he is a calmer, cooler Mac Brown now at North Carolina and learns how to deal with it better.
Yeah, and he looks fly in some Jordan 1s.
Yeah, he does.
Like, I didn't think an old pasty white guy like Mike Brown could pull off some Jordan 1s, but when you put on those colors, it makes you maybe look flyer than what you really are. But, yeah, Mac's shoe game with the Jordan brand, fly.
That's nice. That is nice. All right, so we're going through some quotes from Texas guys at Big 12 Media Days. We'll continue to do that. Also, Zay's got a list, top 10 wide receivers in the NFL according to Pro Football Focus.
It's actually the top 10 wide receivers in the 2024 NFL draft. So these guys.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Players.
Coming up. My bad.
Yes.
24 draft coming up. Okay, gotcha. So guys that we're about to see in college football.
Exactly.
Okay, so 24 draft. All right, hit me with some of these names.
All right. So this is Pro Football Focus, and we're going to go 10-1, starting with an Aggie, Chad.
Really?
Yes.
Who's
the
that?
10th best receiver according to the Pro Football Focus, Moose Muhammad III.
Oh, I was gonna say, please give me some Moose at some point. He's really good. I like him. I can't wait to see what Bobby Petrino's ideas can do to show NFL people what Moose can be. He's a good player.
Yeah, last year in 10 games, Moose had 610 yards and 4 touchdowns. So he's looking to have an even bigger season in 2023. You think Petrino, again, we got Phil Steele said that they're the most surprising team in his eyes.
His number 2 surprise team.
Yeah, number 2 surprise team.
Mm-hmm.
Has them tied with Texas at 11. So this year for Jimbo, it's a big year. Like, they have a lot of talent there with that really good recruiting class that they have. And they got guys on that wide receiver with Evan Stewart and Moose Muhammad. And who's the other one? Who's the little guy? Starts with A.
Nia Smith.
Nia Smith.
Yep.
Yeah, and he could go too.
Yep.
So that's a lot of weapons there. I'm expecting a big year for him.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just double checking on Phil here. Phil's got A&M's receiving core at around 16 in the country. Texas at 5, by the way.
Okay.
In terms of the unit itself. But yeah, with Moose, you said he had 4 touchdowns last year?
Yep.
Let's crank that up to at least 10 this year, Bobby Petrino.
Okay.
Let's get that up to 10.
Yeah.
I think it's possible. All right, go ahead.
All right. So at 9, we got Juice Wells Jr.
Ooh, Juice Wells.
Yeah, South Carolina.
Okay.
Last year, he had 7 touchdowns in 13 games, 938 yards, and probably Spencer Rattler's number 1 guy.
It's not a name that I know really well, Zay, but I better learn it because South Carolina finally beat my Aggies last year. Maybe I was just crying too much to learn his name.
That makes sense.
Damn it, Beamer. All right, come on.
All right, number 8, a guy that we saw in the Alamo Bowl on the other side, Washington's Rome Odunze.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like him a lot. These last 2 years, he has a combined 12 touchdowns. Last season, he had 8 and over 1,100 yards. So he had a big-time season. And, yeah, a lot of people are picking Washington to win the Pac-12 this year with Michael Penix coming back.
I was going to say, a lot of guys coming back, right?
Michael Penix, man, the way he slings it. I'm not saying he's Mike Vick, but the way that he can rip it, being the southpaw and all, it's Vick-esque.
I just want to see what the progression looks like with him. As good as he could look last year, what's it look like with even one more year? You know what I mean? One more offseason.
Right.
A little more grinding, get into more film. I think it's going to be even more impressive. That's good. That's a good name to remember.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah.
All right, for number 7, Georgia's Ladd McConkey.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
He's
man.
fantastic.
He's really good.
I'm old enough to have watched his dad play, and his dad would have been a badass in a different time. And his dad was a badass anyway. McConkey won a Super Bowl with the Giants, but just, I mean, so hard to deal with. Hard to find. You're on a team with Bowers and a running game, and there's so many plays where it's like, oh, wait a minute, we forgot about him.
Yeah.
He makes big plays for them all the time.
And I think you sleep on him because you're like, oh, this white boy ain't fast.
Right.
He ain't got that extra giddy up, and he be blazing by cornerbacks in the SEC.
Yep.
Like, making them look stupid. Last year, he had 896 yards, 9 touchdowns, but different quarterback coming in this year. Stetson Bennett might deserve a statue right outside right outside that stadium.
It's a two-time. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, McConkey's great. McConkey, to me, is a guy that sometimes you see it as you progress through. You're convinced that not only was dad able to produce, an athlete, dad married a fast woman. That's what it tells me with McConkey. Because because was it Phil McConkey is his dad? McConkey was not much of a speedster.
Yeah.
Tells me that dad found a fast girl. And I mean in the athletic way.
Oh,
A
yeah.
good fast girl that could pass on some genes.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't
Yeah.
nothing wrong. LeVar Ball did it. He
That's
said,
true.
I'm going to get me a wife that's athletically built because my kids, they're going to be athletically set.
Yep,
And
that's
both of
it.
those guys are in the NBA.
So we're going top 10. This is PFF's wide receivers looking forward to the 24 draft. We've already had one Aggie. Zay says there's a Longhorn coming at some point. Is the Longhorn 6, Zay?
That's right.
Okay.
Xavier Worthy.
Ooh, there you go.
The X-Man at number 6 had a broken hand last year and still had 9 touchdowns, 774 yards. But we remember how special that freshman year was, where he had 988 yards and 12 touchdowns. So I don't know what his stats are going to look like this year. Again, you heard what Jordan Whittington said at Big 12 Media Days. Like, they're not worried about everyone getting touches. There's so many weapons around that Quinn Ewers, he should be able to, spread it out. Like, that's what it should be. And what Steve Sarkisian should draw up, what we saw last year can't happen again. It was just, I get it, Quinn, he's your roommate, but there was just too many times where all we saw was number 8. Now he's number 1. That should change a little bit, but you just have too many weapons not to utilize everybody, from A.D. Mitchell, Jonte Cook, Jordan Whittington didn't get enough love last year. Keelan Robinson, when he goes out for passes, J.T. Sanders, one of the best tight ends in college football. Just too many weapons for Xavier Worthy to get all these looks. And plus, he had all the bracket coverage, double teams last year. Like, teams were looking to stop Xavier Worthy when it came to the wide receiver core. So again, with all this, depth that you have, you can't key in on Xavier Worthy like teams did last year. And I'm looking for him to have an even bigger season than we saw his freshman year.
We'll see if the national folks are going to notice Xavier Worthy by the end of the year. Obviously, he has a big chance September 9th to show off in Tuscaloosa. That could be huge. All right, let's go top 5, Zay. Number 5 receivers for this next draft.
Yeah, let's blaze through them. Johnny Wilson, Florida State.
See, I'm not familiar with him. I got to watch Florida State. They're higher rated than I thought they would be. I got to check in on the Noles pretty early this year.
Yeah, they're expected to have a big season and compete with
Johnny Wilson.
Yeah, and to compete with Clemson for that ACC title. Johnny last year had 5 touchdowns, almost 900 yards at 897 and played 13 games. So We'll see what he does this year. Number 4, another Longhorn who's looking to have a huge season, the Georgia transfer, A.D. Mitchell.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. A.D. Mitchell, 7 touchdowns in both years that he played for Georgia. We know that he's had injury issues, only played 6 games last year, so hopefully he could stay healthy and on the field for the Horns this season.
He's the guy I think Mike Gundy was referencing when Mike Gundy said, man, with this, it's a new world now. He said, we got guys winning national championships transferring.
Right.
I almost think he was talking about A.D. Mitchell because now he knows his defense has to. Well, actually, this year his defense doesn't have to cover A.D. Mitchell unless they get to the title game.
Yeah.
Because they don't play Oklahoma State.
Yeah, some guys just need a bigger fit, maybe
Yeah.
a better fit. We know what Chris Jackson is bringing coming from Jacksonville, so we saw that one-handed catch in the spring game. A.D. Mitchell has a lot of talent, and maybe it just wasn't showcased because all those, dudes at Georgia, like it's hard for everybody to get noticed. So, all right, number 3.
Yes.
Ohio State, Emeka Enigba.
I was wondering when the Buckeyes were going to show up.
Yeah, this dude just looks exactly like Chris Olave to me. He wears number 2. I thought it was Chris Olave last year. I was like, ain't this fool in the league now? Oh, no. Okay, he just has another guy that looks exactly like him that produces like a Chris Olave. Yeah, Enigba, he had 12 touchdowns last year, 1,238 yards.
Good grief.
Like, what?
That's crazy.
Are we kidding? like with Marvin Harrison Jr., which he's coming up very soon. But he had all those yards. What a season. And yeah, he's the 3rd wide receiver on this list.
Wow.
Makes a lot of sense. But they have a new quarterback situation because their quarterback went number 2 to the Texans. So
That's true.
Those are some big-time shoes to fill. We'll see if those numbers look the same coming in next season. Number 2, Malik Neighbors. You might know him from LSU.
Malik Neighbors. Okay.
Yeah, he had 3 touchdowns last year, but he had over 1,000 yards, and he played 14 games.
You know what, Zay? I barely noticed him as the Aggies were beating LSU last year.
That's why he got locked up.
Pardon me for not noticing, Malik. That's on me. I was just sorry. I was watching the running back go up and down the field for the Aggies. That's my bad.
Okay, all right. When's that game this year?
That's still at the end of the year.
Okay,
and that's going to be
circle that one.
Oh yeah, Baton Rouge. You think the Tigers going to be a little upset for that one?
Yeah, he might be a little pissed off.
Oh.
Might be seeing a little bit of red.
Yeah, I've been. Can A-Chain come back? He doesn't have to go to the NFL, does he? Can he come back another year? No.
Yeah, he's supposed to have a huge season this year.
He'll be fun to watch at the next level. I'm assuming Mr. Harrison's number one.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah.
This guy might be the number one pick in the draft. If Caleb Williams wasn't there, he might be the number one pick in the draft. Marvin Harrison Jr., number one wide receiver coming into this season in college football. Over 1,295 yards total, 14 touchdowns in 13 games.
That is big list there.
You know what's crazy? Because usually when guys are, the guys have NFL dads like he does, obviously, Hall of Fame NFL dad at the wide receiver position. That's who they'll probably compare you to, right? Wrong for him. This dude gets Randy Moss comparisons.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Which, Marvin Harrison Sr., he was nice, and him those Peyton Manning days, they used to put up numbers. He's a Hall of Fame in his own right, but Randy Moss, top 5 wide receiver all time.
No doubt.
If you're getting those comparisons.
He might be number one.
He might be.
If somebody wants to tell me that, I have no problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
I mean, it's Jerry and then him.
I'd go Jerry. Right.
Yeah.
I'd go Jerry first, but Randy Moss has an argument.
He does. He does.
Yeah, no, that's an incredible comparison. You're right. Big-time receivers for this next draft, PFF taking a look at that. And to the person who just texted, so Chad knows the App State wide receivers well then, huh? That's unnecessary. That is unnecessary behavior in July. Come on, we have 50 days till the season gets started, and you're already getting into that? All right. But I understand it. That's well played. All right, coming up, we'll get you a little crap bag. We will talk about Kevin Durant coming to town, hanging with the basketball team a little bit, some Wimbledon updates for you, plus another UFC champ has to give up the belt. I'll tell you why on the Horn.
Chad and Zay.
All righty. This is a pretty badass video from what I recall. The man was literally dancing on the ceiling. Like, it was pretty cool. And I was a child. I was 7 or whatever, 8 when this video came out. Lionel Richie, ladies and gentlemen. There was that period of time. Being the age I am, I didn't know anything about Commodores. I had to learn all that later. I didn't know anything about Easy or Brick House or any of that.
Right.
He started dancing on the ceiling. He started talking about All Night Long. He started going through all of the, just going through all of that, putting that great, that African vibe into All Night Long. And I'm like, this dude is awesome. I don't know who this is. This is my guy.
This dude has range.
Yeah, Lionel's such a legend. And he's out there touring with Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
Have they come to town yet?
I feel like they have or they're going to.
It's got to be a great show.
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't it?
You know how I feel about that. Like, you should be touring with the Commodores.
You're like the Commodore's lawyer when it comes to this discussion.
It's just about loyalty, Chad. You know how I feel about Scotty and Michael.
Okay, but like Ice Cube's not able to tour now? You're going to get mad because he's not with the surviving members of NWA?
No, because that's different.
Okay.
Those guys, they've made their own name individually.
Okay.
You just don't. Can you name me any other Commodores?
Dude, you don't remember the Billy Commodore album? That's a great record. And Davey Commodore was in that country act. That was incredible. Plus Susie Commodore. A lot of people don't remember.
This isn't like Van Halen where their names are their last name.
Susie Commodore was the trumpet player, and she went on to help co-create Hamilton. You don't remember that?
See, you're making my point here. You're making my point.
All right, fair enough.
And they toured together. Dre and Cube toured together back in 2000s with Eminem and Snoop Dogg, one of the greatest tours of all time.
Okay. All right.
So they have before, and I'm sure Lionel has before, but come on, man.
Our man Jason APD says, my mom loved Lionel Richie, therefore I listened to him my entire childhood.
That's beautiful. Yeah. You had a great childhood.
Wonderful songwriting, that beautiful voice. Lionel's one of the big reasons, obviously one of the big reasons We Are the World even happened. Helped put that together with Quincy Jones. So, yeah, man, Lionel's awesome. Lionel Richie and Charlie Daniels Band to start today.
Great perm / Jerry curl, too.
Oh, a great one. Yeah, great. And he was
solid.
Yeah, because, Lionel had that. He had that look now. He had that look. You couldn't miss Lionel Richie for a while, boy. He was something else. I've never seen him live. I would love to see that show with Earth, Wind, and Fire. May have to check that out if it still has not come to town. All right, let's get into the crap bag here. We got a few things to hit, and we'll start with an NFL retirement.
Chad's crap bag.
Crap bag. If you need an easy way to remember it, just think of a bag of crap.
Brought to you by AV Consultations, 255-8678, or go to avconsultations.com. Happy retirement to Malik Jackson in the NFL. Big dog D tackle. If you don't know, it's USC. I had to look it up. I forgot where Malik Jackson went to school. But first few years in the league, he was with Denver, won Super Bowl 50, so he got his ring there. Played with Jacksonville, the Eagles, Browns. He didn't play last year, and he said his goal was 10 to 12 years. He was able to get to that point. He said, I was doing okay, doing pretty well for myself. I did enough. I have a daughter. I need to go home and be with her and start living life. You go do it, Malik Jackson. He was a badass in Denver, Zay.
Yeah, a lot of people think the NFL stands for National Football League. Sometimes I think it stands for not for long because that's what your career is going to be. Like 3 years is the max for most guys. So to make it over a decade, salute to Malik. And yeah, now he can enjoy being a father to his kids.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, some other crap bag items for you. Y'all know I keep up with the tennis world. Wimbledon is ready for its finals. Tomorrow morning, the women's final. I'll be honest, you got to be a tennis freak to get into this one at all. Ons Jabeur is the player I'm rooting for. She's the 6th seed. She's an incredible story, and she has not won a major yet. She's gotten to a final, but has not won a major yet. And there's a lot of important like off the court stuff as to why she's important. She's from a part of the world that does not treat women a certain way, and she's blazing that trail, and she's so much fun to watch. Great game, too. Tomorrow at 8, that's when they play. The history, too, on the other side could be if, I'm going to try to get this right, Marketa Vondrousova wins, she'd be the first unseeded woman ever to win Wimbledon. No unseeded woman has ever won this tournament. So she'll try to do that. But the big show is on Sunday morning. If you want to get up for breakfast at Wimbledon, it's set. It's Djokovic and Alcaraz. It's what everybody's been looking for. Djokovic has got 23 majors. Carlos has 1. But he did win the U.S. Open last year, and he's the number 1 seed. Djokovic is the 2 seed. And I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Oh, I'll be watching Sunday morning. Breakfast at Wimbledon. Djokovic wants all the history. Carlos Alcaraz, the young man from Spain, is trying to stop him. And in case y'all don't know, I'm rooting for the kid to stop him. I'm not the biggest Djokovic guy. I'm more of a Federer and Nadal guy myself.
There we go. So how's the grass look right now? Because it should be a little beaten up since it's been played in so long.
It gets beat up differently than it used to.
Okay.
So it used to get beat up right up the center of the court because more players were serving and volleying and going up to the net. But now what you see is it's just going to be on the baselines.
Right.
It gets chopped up on the baselines. From what I've seen, I mean, they've got it now where it's holding together pretty well. And remember, now they can get the roof closed on center and court 1 anytime they need to. So they can open and close if they've got a big rainstorm coming and they think if they got rain that can help them, they can open. If they got rain that'll hurt them, they can close it up and get that done. So I think the grass is in pretty good shape, and we'll just see. Alcaraz being from Spain, you'd think he's more of a clay court type of guy, and is this surface a little too fast for him? Is the ball going to be a little too low? But I'm looking forward to watching it. Alcaraz has a monster serve, and Djokovic might be the best returner of serve ever. It's hard for me to say, but I think he might be.
Yeah, that's the most fascinating thing to me because with the course changing and the matchups that you have, like, you have to adjust so much. There's so much scouting that goes into it, and it's kind of like golf.
Absolutely.
How the course could change, and you have to adapt to that and based on the weather and who you're playing and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
the surface changes are unique to those sports.
Yeah, I really love that about tennis.
Yeah, so we'll check that out if you like that. Of course, is all weekend, and I think it is ESPN. I guess still has the finals now, unless it's still maybe NBC. Gonna have to check that out. But breakfast at Wimbledon the next 2 mornings. Also out of the fight world, UFC light heavyweight champ Jamal Hill has to give up the belt. He ruptured his Achilles in a workout. He has to relinquish the belt. I don't know if he has to, but he's gonna relinquish the belt because it is the right thing to do. He's out for a while, so he'll relinquish just like John Jones had to for other reasons. And another one of their champs has had to relinquish the last year or so because of an injury. So 205 is open in the UFC.
Yeah, the Achilles injury is one of the most brutal injuries in sports. That's so hard to come back from guys like Kevin Durant and Kobe Bryant, who ruptured it and came back and still had all-star seasons. Absolutely incredible. But with the way, medical medicine is nowadays, like, he should be right after a year or so.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be okay and be able to get back in there. And they have said once he comes back, he'll get an immediate shot at the title.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm going to be fair to him about that. But he didn't want to hold up the title. I like that because I hate hearing interim champion. Those never make sense to me. All right, coming up, you heard Zay mention Kevin Durant. We'll tell you about Kevin Durant doing one of the things he loves to do, which is coming back to Austin and hanging out with basketball folk. And then we'll talk more football with top 10 running backs. We've been looking at these lists compiled by players, coaches, and scouts. We're going to go top 10 running backs, and Zay's got an extra level for you today. At each spot, we're going to ask ourselves the question, if you're a fan of that team, would you want Bijan Robinson over the guy they currently have? We'll get to that list next. Don't move. It's The Horn. All right, let's go hour number 2 on a Friday. Just let that Curtis Mayfield wash over you. Someone has already texted that no one in the world cares about tennis and swore at me on the text line. All right, okay,
there
fine.
we go.
Just mentioned it real quick. We moved on. I apologize. We're getting back into some football, a little bit of basketball, too, to start this hour. It's Chad and Zay. I'm Chad Hastings. He is Isaiah Collier, and we hope you're having a good Friday. Please be careful this weekend. That super heat is coming like world record all-time stuff, so just please stay safe if you can. Coming up in about an hour, we'll do what we do every Friday. Check in with Jeff Ketchum from orangebloods.com. Huge week, obviously, in the Big 12, and we're reading through some Texas quotes from coaches and players. And actually, since we're having Jeff on, I was reading through the War Room at Orange Blood, so I found some of their quotes that they threw out there, and we were going through those today. I think they're quotes that should excite you if you're Texas players. We'll get back to some of those. Also, speaking of Texas players and excitement, Zay, I know deep down Longhorn fans have to love hearing that Kevin Durant's coming back to town. I know there's some things with Kevin, social media, things like that. But when it comes for the Longhorn perspective, he's always been so great at supporting this area, the town, the school, the team. So Durant was back, going through some workouts with the team? Or
yeah, just back in the ATX on campus, going through his training, getting ready for the 2023-2024 season. And yeah, Chad, it's huge when he comes into town, because when you look at recruits and guys in the transfer portal, they want to see guys who got to the league. And Kevin Durant, nobody represents the University of Texas as a professional athlete like Kevin Durant.
Yeah, he would qualify as got to the league.
Exactly.
Right?
Like, I get it. TJ Ford will always be my GOAT, but KD is right behind TJ, and he has his jersey hung in the rafters at the Moody Center. I know the practice facility is named after him. He's given money back, and, him and Coach Terry, they go back to when KD was playing here at the University of Texas, and Coach Terry was on the staff with Rick Barnes. So, yeah, it's absolutely big time for him coming back. And yeah, I tweeted, I think it was yesterday, because a clip went around KD's Texas highlights.
Mm-hmm.
And I said in my tweet, follow me, @that_Zay, I still do not understand and never will how the Portland Trailblazers selected Greg Oden over him.
Yeah.
It will never make sense.
Nope.
And people will always talk about, well, Greg Oden was supposed to be the next Bill Russell. Portland didn't have Bob Cousy or Sam Jones on the team to help. Like you always think like, oh, Bill Russell, 11 titles and stuff. And yes, that's absolutely amazing. But I always will point out, Red Auerbach was a mobster and borderline cheater.
There it is.
So referees and people in the stands were afraid to get whacked if they crossed him. And Bill Russell had a lot of guys around him, like a Bob Cousy, like a Havlicek, like a Sam Jones, who all went to the Hall of Fame. So, yeah, Bill Russell was amazing, great shot blocker and stuff, but those comparisons were bunk back then, and they're bunk now. And what we saw Kevin Durant do as an 18, 19-year-old in college against grown-ass men and make them look small and embarrass them, that's a big reason why Portland's so afraid to trade Dame Lillard.
Mm-hmm.
They're so afraid because they made so many mistakes, from the 84 draft, taking Sam Bowie over Michael Jordan, but we had Clyde Drexler. So effing what? Clyde and Michael couldn't get along? You don't think that would have worked out, Portland? Are we serious? And then they made that mistake with Greg Oden, obviously not selecting Kevin Durant. So they're trying to hold on to somebody that's maybe the greatest Trailblazer ever, after Bill Walton, after Clyde Drexler, Damian Lillard, and Dame is getting screwed over those mistakes. That's why they're trying to get the whole kitchen sink for Dame. And I get it, because being a front office person for the Portland Trailblazers, it has to be stressful for all the previous mistakes that franchise has made. So it's not Dame's fault. It's just the history. And yeah, man, what KD's done for the University of Texas that year, Chad, he, just double digits in rebounds. Remember, they used to say he was soft. They said he was weak. That's what they were worried about. They didn't think his game would transition because they thought he was weak. And it's not like it's the 80s anymore. It's not like he would go down in the lane and get hammered by Kurt Rambis or Robert Parrish or Bill Laimbeer or something. No, they changed the rules so guys like KD can thrive. You know what I'm saying? I think he didn't even he couldn't even bench like 185 or something. And they were making a huge deal out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And even though Greg Oden had injury problems, the Portland Trailblazers said, okay, well, I guess this is going to be the better pick. And they haven't been able to win a ring since those Bill Walton days.
That's
so,
true.
Yeah, man, KD, shout out to him being on campus. That's huge for the program.
Yeah, very cool for him coming back. As far as short-time guys at a school, man, he's so supportive of everything around here. We wish Durant, obviously, nothing but the best, getting ready for this next season with Phoenix. Add in Bradley Beal, take away CP3. We'll see what that looks like for the Phoenix Suns. A lot of NBA to get to later in the year, Wembanyama's first year, all that good stuff as well. All right, Zay, let's get back to this another top 10 list in the NFL, and this time, because you are a brand new Falcons fan, thanks to Bijan Robinson.
Dirty Bird, baby.
You're going to make a Bijan Robinson angle on this one, and I like it. Top 10 running backs. This, again, is players, coaches, and scouts are voting on this. Top 10 running backs for 2022. And at each point, Zay, we're supposed to figure out if we would put Bijan in place of this person?
That's right.
Okay.
So,
go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go through honorable mentions right now. Guys that didn't crack the list but are serious guys in their own right. Kenneth Walker III, Seahawks, rookie now in his second year, had a good season last year. I take Bijan over him.
Right now, I'm going to say Walker, but it's close.
Okay.
I'll take Walker.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones, Green Bay Packers.
Ooh. Aaron Jones.
By the way, you're going to see a lot of homerism here, so
Okay.
I could care less what y'all think.
You're just going Bijan over everybody?
I mean, no, I'm not,
Okay.
but, there's going to be a little bit where y'all probably feel that. I'll try to be objective.
You know what? I am enough of a Packer hater. I'll say Bijan.
There we go.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones, how old is he? Born in 94. Oh, yeah, he almost 30. So,
Oh, right. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Let's
Come
go
on now.
Bijan. We'll take the young guy.
there.
Yep. Got to
All
take
right.
the young guy.
All right, so let's start on the list. Number 10, a guy that wanted his money, Austin Eckler.
Austin Eckler.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah, Austin Eckler, he was good last year. The dude had 18 touchdowns 2022. In 2021, he had 20 touchdowns. In 2021, he had 1,500 yards. 2022, he had 1,600 yards.
Whew. Yeah.
Playing with Justin Herbert and crew.
If healthy, yeah, I'll go with Eckler there. I'll go with Eckler.
Over Bijan.
Yes. I'll go Eckler.
So I think Bijan could do a little bit more if he were on the Chargers, but that's a little bit of the homerism kicking in. I could see why you went Eckler. I can't knock that at all.
All right, fair enough.
Number 9, Tony Pollard.
I was wondering if T. Pollard was on the list.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to get super specific here. Based on the exact situation, Bijan.
Right.
Because it's more of a total back.
I agree.
Yeah, I'd go Bijan.
I agree. I think Tony Pollard has a lot of upside, but we've never seen him as the main guy. Even though he was better than Zeke last year, they split carries. And Zeke got it a lot on the goal line.
And by the way, somebody please get this sound up to Dallas, to the Star, and let Tony Pollard know that we just said that to piss him off and make him great this year. Please tell him that I picked Bijan over him. All right, Tony Pollard at 9.
Yeah, excuse me. When I said those stats for Austin Eckler, that was total yards. If we're talking about Austin Eckler just rushing, he had 13 touchdowns last season.
Gotcha.
And Tony Pollard had 9 rushing touchdowns last season. On the ground, he had over 1,000 yards.
Okay.
So solid. When you're splitting carries with somebody having over 1,000 yards, that's a really good year. But you just got to see with that injury that we saw in the playoffs against the 49ers, how healthy will he be? Will Mike McCarthy be confident enough to give him 20-plus carries? He's never had that before consistently. I will keep an eye on that if I'm a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, number 8, Dalvin Cook.
Oh, good player.
Yeah.
That's the guy I wanted in Dallas, too. Interesting that Dalvin Cook is still floating, right?
Yeah, he's still a free agent. I don't know. I mean, him being a Florida guy, Miami makes a lot of sense, but is he willing to take a pay cut? We know the value of running backs ain't what they think it should be, but hey, it is what it is. Is he willing to sacrifice some money to end up at a spot where he's happy?
Since he has no team, I would absolutely go Bijan there. Bijan over Dalvin Cook as a free agent for whatever team would need him,
right,
I'll go Bijan.
Yeah, he's had 4 straight seasons over 1,100 yards.
Yeah.
And had over 1,100 last year on the ground.
I dig
8
Dalvin Cook now.
touchdowns.
I dig Dalvin Cook. I'll give the young guy his love, though.
Yeah, and he's born in 95, so he's 28.
28,
yeah, I don't
God.
know.
I just need wherever he ends up, I hope he looks like absolute garbage, so I won't feel bad as a Cowboys fan because I really wanted him to wear a star.
Yeah, I agree. One of my favorite players coming in at number 7, Alvin Kamara.
Oh, yeah.
I love him. Just a do-it-all back. That's kind of slipped a little bit since Drew Brees and those guys left, but yeah, he still can get it done.
He's still freaky. I'll take Kamara. He's still freaky, man. He's still at that level. That dude's still able to, I think, like pull trucks and lift cars and all that. I'll take Kamara.
Oh, man.
The versatility, everything you can do with him.
Yeah, you might be right. That 2020 year really stands out where he had 21 total touchdowns. I mean, if you look at his total yardage, he's always over 1,300.
Now, come on, Texas fan. You have an opportunity to not only piss off your new rivals, the Saints, you have an opportunity to piss off your UT rival, Tennessee fans. See if you pick Bijan.
I know Bijan ain't going to go Tupac and beat down somebody in Vegas, so I'm going to go Bijan. I don't got to worry about the off-the-field stuff. I think Bijan could do everything Alvin Kamara could do, and he's younger on the field, and we all know Bijan's character.
I think
him with his faith.
I think they cleared up that story. I don't know if anything. I mean, come on.
Something happened, Chad.
Hey.
Something happened.
People get weird in Vegas.
True.
Wasn't it Vegas?
It was
What
Vegas.
happened?
Yeah, true. During Pro Bowl weekend. I get it.
I think it was one of those weird dancers that wears the feathers. I don't know if it was. Come on.
Man, just for that reason.
Okay.
I know I'm going outside of football, but that counts
That
too.
goes Bijan.
That
Okay.
counts
All
too.
right.
Bijan Robinson.
Okay.
I got to take Bijan.
Fair enough. I appreciate you working him in again, Dirty Bird fan. All right, number 6.
Number 6, Wisconsin's own Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, that's a dude too. Where's Jonathan Taylor on the age front right now? Is he?
Oh yeah, he's young.
Is he to the
24?
He's not to the Magic 27 yet, is
No,
he?
he's 24.
Yeah, Bijan, I dig you, but that's Taylor every day of the week for me.
Oh man,
I love me some Jonathan Taylor.
That year with Phillip Rivers, he was good. Last season, they had all types of problems, which Sam Ehlinger, he got hosed. You know, we saw what happened with Matt Ryan. It was a weird, really weird season for the Colts. So I shouldn't blame him for that. But again, that year with Phillip Rivers, 2021, 1,800 yards on the ground.
Oh, dude.
That's stupid.
Do you know how happy I'd be if one of my NFL teams got Jonathan Taylor tomorrow? I'd go help him pack. I'd drive to wherever he is.
Yeah.
I love that dude. I think he is still big time. You say he's only 24?
He's only 24?
Come on, man.
He's only 24?
I think he's got a lot of great yet to come, and let's see how it works with Anthony Richardson. If he continues to learn at this rate and impress at this rate, who knows?
True.
Who knows?
True. That division's still wide open to me.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like Jonathan Taylor a lot. I'll take him over Bijan.
There you go. All right, so we'll go top 5 here. We're going top 5 running backs, again, voted by players, voted by coaches and staff, and then we're trying to figure out, would we take Bijan over that particular guy on that particular team? All right, top 5, Zay.
Top 5. At 5, Derrick Henry.
Ooh, this is an interesting one. Derrick Henry. You're talking about you'd be putting Bijan on that Tennessee team with a mess at quarterback. But Derrick Henry now is into that 27, 28, 29
he's
window.
29.
Isn't
He's 29. And he has a lot of miles, too.
Yeah, he does.
He has a lot of miles. But the dude had over 1,500 yards last season in 16 games, man.
He's such a freak, dog. God, he's a freak. What did you say he had last year?
1,500
Oh, he's so good.
on the ground.
He's so good. I can't go away from the linebacker as running back. Bijan, you're close on this one, but I'll go Henry. Barely.
Just because of age.
You go Bijan?
I'll go Bijan.
Yeah.
Just because of age.
All
That's it. Like Derrick Henry, first ballot Hall of Famer whenever he's available to be that. Like, he's absolutely incredible. Back to his days playing for Nick Saban, where, you know, that picture that went viral, him standing by Mark Ingram. Like, every time I think of Derrick Henry, I think of key moments. I think of that picture, and I think of him stiff-arming the hell out of Josh Newman.
Yep. Oh,
Just one of the greatest stiff arms I've ever seen. They probably replayed that on the 4-letter network 1,000 times when it happened. He's an absolute freak, but he's 29 years old.
Okay.
Bijan Robinson's 21. I got to go with number 7.
A lot of Bijan love. All right.
I mean, come on. He's special.
I understand.
He's this ain't just being a homer. He's special.
I understand, Falcons fans. By the way, if I hadn't mentioned it, Zay is wearing a Steve Bartkowski jersey underneath his T-shirt today, in case y'all didn't know. All right, I was at Michael Vick. That's one of the two.
Yeah, if I were to wear a Falcons jersey, I'd probably rock a throwback Deion. Maybe a Jamal Anderson. And
you go.
You can't go wrong with a Mike Vick.
That's true. Now. All right, let's go number 4.
All right, number 4, Saquon Barkley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Saquon Barkley had over 1,300 yards last season in 16 games, 10 touchdowns. He is 26 years old.
On that team, I could almost say flip a coin since he's 26. I'll give the love to Barkley. For that team, I mean, it's like that team needs a whole lot of stuff. So I'll keep Bijan away from that wear and tear that he would need to go through, and I'll leave Barkley there.
Yeah, both guys are so similar in the way they play, and this is kind of the same thing as the Derrick Henry. Even though he's younger than Derrick Henry, he's had his injuries.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I would be afraid of. Bijan Robinson, I really haven't seen much of injuries from him, except actually we did after that TCU game where he got hurt a couple of years ago. But still, like, I think Bijan Robinson... Oh, man, I don't know. Saquon does some crazy stuff.
Hey, and look, to this fan trying to point out on the text line that we don't know how good the Falcons' offensive line is, will you please let Zay have his dreams here?
Thank you.
Please let Zay be a dreamer.
You're right. You have the fan. I get that. On the Specs text line, I understand that. But being a realist, you definitely have to have a really good offensive line to be a really good running back. I understand that. But sometimes guys just have that it factor.
But remember, this discussion does not involve the Falcons' offensive line. This is Bijan going to these other teams. As one of our texters points out, Bijan and that Colts offensive line could be really interesting if they get back to doing what they're supposed to do. Yeah. I would agree with that. Chan, thank you for that text. You are absolutely right. All right, Zay, number 3.
All right, Josh Jacobs.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs, still with the Raiders, right?
Yeah, still with the Raiders. Had 1,600 yards last year.
Did he really? Go ahead, Josh. I understand they're playing an extra game and everything, but still.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 12 touchdowns.
1,600.
Yeah, 2-time Pro Bowler. He was really good. Only 25. Yeah, I'll take Josh over Bijan.
Yeah, right. At this point of the list, like, we're going to kind of have to take these other guys out of respect at least. Yeah, Jake. I'll take Jacobs there. He's really good.
Now, this one, Chad, I don't know, because kind of like Saquon, he's had his injury problems too.
Oh, here we go.
At number 2, Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey. I can't. Especially where he is. I cannot go away from it. I'm not saying Shanahan couldn't dial up Bijan. McCaffrey's a special kind of special. I'd CMC.
Yeah, he's definitely special, but they have so many weapons in San Fran.
Mm-hmm.
From Debo, they arguably have the best overall tight end, even though I know Travis Kelce's the best, and George Kittle.
Who's a better overall weapon on that team than CMC?
I'd say Debo.
You think so?
I do.
Okay.
I think what you could do with Debo Samuel is a little bit more than what they could do. I think they're right there.
Right. If you believe that, maybe you'd make this switch. But to me, CMC might be the best all-around weapon they've got, even though they do have others. So that's why I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah, I mean, CMC is special. He is. And when they use him as a wide receiver, again, another guy that Bijan Robinson gets comparisons to. So that's kind of a flip of a coin. But again, just because he's had injury issues in the past, he's 27 years old. I think I take Bijan there in Shanahan's system.
Yeah. Now, selfishly, of course, I'm a Cowboys fan, so what I'd like the Niners to do is get rid of Christian McCaffrey and replace him with, I don't know, Bob Cole from Coke FM and see how the season goes then.
Hey, don't sleep on Bob Cole, man. When he lowers his head, I mean, he's got a dome a little bit.
Oh, I think he'll be good on first down.
I think he'd be terrific.
I just want to get it to 3rd and long and see. I think they can take him out of the game at that point.
Maybe that.
Absolutely. All right, we've come to number 1, the number 1 running back, according to players, according to the league and the staff and coaches and everybody.
You got a guess here?
Number 1 running back in the entire league. I'm going through my list here of who
very low key
of who it is going to be. I'm assuming.
I don't know if you've ever heard him talk before.
I'll just give him love because he just got the ring. There's no way they went Pacheco, did they?
Oh, hell no.
They're not doing
he
something
even
like that.
honorable mention.
All right, who is it? Who am I forgetting?
Nick Chubb.
Chubb. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Nick Chubb had over 1,500 yards last year. The last 4 seasons had over 1,000 yards, had 12 touchdowns last year, and the first season with Deshaun Watson, who didn't play a full season.
Just think about what this list says when you compare it to these other lists we've been through. Like, as much as I love the running backs growing up, like, look, Chubb, Jacobs, Barkley, 3 of the top 4 on teams that weren't anywhere close at the end of it.
Right.
But these other lists, when we're hitting quarterbacks and some of these stats you've looked at and receivers lists, they feel a lot more important as to who's actually fighting for titles.
And that's why they're not getting paid.
And that's why you're not getting the money.
Right, guys.
Exactly.
That's exactly why they're not
That's
getting
it.
paid, because it shows that, man, we could get guys in the 7th round, some guys that are undrafted, and put them on our squad. And just because we have a really good offensive system and coordinator and quarterback, it can make those guys look good. So the ones that get drafted very high and on that next contract are expecting some buku money, if your team ain't that good and they're just kind of middle of the pack, you ain't getting paid.
All right, so let's make it official then. Would you take Bijan and put him on that Cleveland team with Deshaun Watson? Or would you leave Nick Chubb?
I'd leave Nick Chubb.
Okay.
Yeah. Off the field, they're very similar. Like, you never hear about Nick Chubb doing
Right. Chubb's not a
anything.
problem. Yeah, you're not a problem.
Like, he's a suit and tie type of guy, just straight edge, not going to do anything crazy. You ain't got to worry about him when you go to sleep as a head coach or a GM like that, like Nick Chubb. Yeah, he's perfect for Cleveland and Deshaun Watson. And, yeah, I respect him being number 1 on this list. That's very interesting to me.
It really is. All right, there you go. Top 10 running backs according to the people that have to deal with them, play against them, play with them. It's these some cool lists that Zay's been going through. Coming up next, we'll get you a quick flex segment, including a serious max that I enjoyed watching. A little later, it's Where We At in Society with Zay. And then coming up at 2:05, we will talk some Longhorns coming off of Big 12 Media Days this week with Jeff Ketchum of OrangeBloods.com. Don't move. It's The Horn.
Chad and Zay.
Oh, boy, I always get this one wrong. I always get this one wrong. There's something going on. All right, let's see if we can do this. I know, I can't deny it. There's something going on. That's the name of the song, right?
Yeah.
The Motels?
No.
All right, who
was in the Motels?
No. It's not like it's a band name, I think.
No, it's not.
It's an individual?
Yeah.
I don't have it. I don't know.
Frida.
Who?
Frida.
Oh, I wasn't going to say Frida. I never get this one right. Frida. Why can't I get that one? I dig this song. I remember this song. Cool little smoky 80s voice. Do you realize how many people must have snorted cocaine to this song?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, whoa. Nothing but rails when this one's coming on, kids.
When this comes on, this takes it to another world.
Stay away from it, kids. Remember, the PSAs for the day, we're just giving you now lists of drugs not to deal with. Stay away from the lean. We told you. Listen to the chopped and screwed, but don't actually drink the lean. Stay away from the cocaine. Listen to Frida. That's how you do it. The music helps you get through it. You don't need the chemicals. See how that works?
Yeah.
Your body will create the chemicals you need when you listen to Frida. Do not go grab the mirror like they did in the 80s. Don't do it. Be careful.
Wise words from Chad Hastings.
Thank you. Please be careful. Uncle Chad says, stay away. Stay away from it. Okay, so Frida, Lionel Richie, Charlie Daniels Band. That's what we've had for you today so far on the show. Let's get you a quick flex segment. We'll talk about a max and a camp for you. Here we go.
Flex ATX for the best high school sports coverage. Listen to the horn and go to FLXATX.com. Flex 30 is brought to you by Brain Vault. Brain Vault is a revolutionary and patented mouthguard that has been proven to help reduce the risk of concussion. Visit brainvault.com and join the movement.
All right. Come on, Mo, out at Lake Travis. We tell you all the time about flex in terms of, the all-flex team. That's coming. We're going to unveil that the week of July 24th. Let us know if we need to throw somebody on that all-flex watch list that you think maybe people aren't paying as much attention to. So, the Flex crew is compiling that information. We've been telling you to send videos of workouts, of 7-on-7s, or of one of my favorite one of my favorite things that the videos come through is weightlifting videos. And Flex retweeted something from Big Mo Orotokai from Lake Travis. Zay, 445.
Ooh, Big Mo.
Bench.
Wow.
445. You know when the bar starts to curve a little bit on the bench press, you are lifting. And my man gets it done. Of course, he got it done. Why would they have posted it if he didn't get it done? I will ruin that for you. But go watch the 445 max from Orotokai. That's impressive. That is 3 plates on each. 3 plates and 2 other smaller plates on each side? Dude.
Yeah, my back hurts just thinking about that.
It is dumb. That is so dumb. 445. Most dudes are squatting that weight, if at all. And Big Mo is going 445. And I know it's Mo because our friend Mark Honig, voice of the Lake Travis Cavaliers, told me, hey, just call him Mo. Just call him Mo. That's what everybody else does. But you can hear everybody screaming Mo at him. Come on, Mo. Let's go. Let's go, Mo. I love that vibe. I love Max Day. Max Day. Dudes are trying to hit the big numbers, and all of us cheerleaders are just screaming from the back. Because when we do our max, nobody's going. They may want us to get it, but Zay, we're not going after. I never went after numbers anybody cared about.
Right.
It was personal to me. The first time I got like 150 on bench, oh my God, big day.
There we go, yeah.
Huge day. But when I got up from it, all the best like football players in the room, they weren't looking at me. But when they're lifting, I'm screaming from the back, let's go!
Right.
Let's get it going. Yeah, that's good stuff. At FLXATX on your social media. Also, remember that camp coming up on July 20th. The Skills Camp is coming up quick out there in Round Rock. You can check out the Flex Twitter account here, the Skills Challenge. They've got a QR code for you to scan there. Shout out to Anthony Williams and the crew for putting that together. All right, so Zay, earlier in the hour, we were talking about Kevin Durant visiting the Longhorns, and you were commenting on that. A couple questions popped in my head. I'm going to give you a quick fill in the blank for Kevin Durant with Bradley Beal on the team. The best thing for Kevin Durant, having Bradley Beal as a teammate, is going to be blank.
How many more open looks he's going to get because of Bradley Beal along with Devin Booker, the attention that they get as pure scorers. Both of those guys have had over 30 points a game seasons. So Kevin Durant, he might get the most open looks that he's seen since his Golden State days.
Okay. The worst thing for Kevin Durant about having Bradley Beal on his team is going to be blank.
They won't have anybody else to help Bradley Beal and Devin Booker with KD.
So fatigue?
So everybody else on the team not being able to step up because all those guys, like, even though KD is one of the greatest ever, like, he's getting around 35 or so. So he shouldn't be logging in the minutes that you expect him to log from earlier in his career. Over 30-some minutes a game. Like, that's cool for certain games, but you don't want that the whole season. So if you're Frank Vogel, you really got to manage his minutes because he's also coming off that Achilles injury not too long ago, and he's had multiple injuries since then. Hell, when he got back, he was slipping on the floor and stuff, getting injured in warm-ups.
I forgot about that one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you got to be very careful with Kevin Durant, and you don't want to max out his minutes early. You don't want to worry about that in-season tournament in Vegas and stuff, even though that helps your standings when the real playoffs come around in April. But yeah, you got to really make sure Kevin Durant is playing the right amount of minutes. I know load management is a mutter, but it's necessary for certain guys, and Kevin Durant is one of them.
Is Chad talking about Big Mo, the rapper, benching 445? No. Mo is an offensive lineman at Lake Travis benching 445. No. Not lifting with the purple stuff. Lifting with the Lake Travis power. You're thinking of two different people here.
Did you – wait, that was amazing. I think you did something that you don't even know you did just now.
What did I do?
Big Mo has a song called Purple Stuff.
No, they texted that. That wasn't me.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'm about to say.
That's not me. They texted.
I'm about to say, you're on a whole nother level now on your way to vacation.
They texted, must be lifting with that purple stuff.
Okay, yeah.
They were trying to make, they made the reference.
Oh, man. Purple stuff. Shout out to Big Mo, man. R.I.P.
Yeah, I am not going to be, I'm not making that, I'm going to give myself credit for that one. Real quick before the break, Zay, I got another Longhorn quote. I got two more left. Do you want to hear right now from Whittington on Ewers, or do you want to hear from Steve Sarkisian on the whole team?
Let's hear. We already heard a Jay Witt one, so let's hear Sark now.
Okay, here's a Sark quote that I saw, again, from Big 12 Media Days that I'd get pumped if I was a Texas fan. Quote, I just think it's highly competitive. I go watch our guys run every day. Nobody is surviving the run. Everybody is fighting to win the run. When you have that mentality day in and day out, the moment is not going to be too big for you on Saturdays or whatever the game is. I just think we're connected. We're connected on a level that is impressive to me, probably even a little bit beyond what I thought these guys could be at this point. These guys are driven, focused. I've said it before. They feel like they're on a mission to go do this. End quote.
Love it.
So there you go.
Absolutely love it.
That's your head coach, Texas fans.
Yeah. He's saying all the right things. And, in year 3, he's been talking about it for a while now. He finally has his type of guys. They're finally buying into his terminology, the way his philosophy, the way that he goes about it every day. And I love that stuff. When you're attacking drills and guys aren't, sucking wind and fatigued and yakking in the trash can and stuff, like, you don't want that. You want to embrace off-season workouts because, hey, every time we walk outside, we're basically melting. And if you're able to work out and grind and understand that it's going to be hot as hell when you go to Alabama, and it's still going to be hot as hell when you go to Waco, and both of your games early in the season before the Big 12 starts at DKR, like, the training that you do in the off season is getting you ready for that. And I love what Sark's saying. I love hearing all the players. Everybody's being accountable with one another. Everybody's looking at themselves in the mirror and understanding that, hey, these last few years, we haven't lived up to expectations. When you have guys like Bijan Robinson, Roschon Johnson, 8-5, it's still unacceptable. Yeah, it's progress from 5-7 in 2021. But again, I say it almost every day. University of Texas, the expectations has to be higher. And I think this team, they're finally understanding that. Again, the roster, checking all the boxes from the depth, all around, iron sharpening iron. The recruiting has been good. The transfer portal has been good. The coaching staff looks great. Your guys coming in, just being analysts, that's on point now with, Paul Christ and them. So everything looks great. You just have to show it.
Yep.
Show me something. And I got to see it.
And that's where it comes to this text that just came in from one of our loyal listeners. LOL, I will not allow myself to buy into the hype. I need to see it on the field. Exactly. But hey, 50 days away, all the hype can get.
It's easy to drink that Kool-Aid, y'all.
That Kool-Aid is happening right now. So that was a quote that I saw from some of the Orange Bloods notes that I was looking at last night in terms of something that might get you fired up if you wanted to sip on that orange Kool-Aid a little bit. 50-something days. Today it's 50 days until the first game. By the way, somebody texted about Jeff Ketchum. He is coming up at 2:05. We'll get some of his thoughts on Big 12 Media Days. What did he hear from Big 12 Media Days that really stood out to him? And where is he on the Longhorns 50 days away from the season? We will find out coming up at 2:30 why today matters. I'll get you that Jay Witt comment. What did Jordan Whittington say about his quarterback that would excite me if I'm a Texas fan? We'll get into that a little later next hour. Right now coming up, we will go where we at in society and see what Zay wants to get into. Stay with us. It's The Horn.
Chad and Zay.
Mr. Big Stuff. I'm not even going to pretend I've ever known who sang this song. So I don't know if I'll be surprised or whatever. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't really know this person either.
Who is it?
Jean Knight.
Jean Knight. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if Jean had any other hits, but she got one right with Mr. Big Stuff.
No kidding. Since it's Jean Knight, could she be related to Gladys Knight?
I
don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe
related to Suge Knight.
If she's Suge Knight's grandmother, it'd be the greatest thing in the world.
This could be about Suge. Suge was huge.
This could be. The story of Suge Knight's birth. No one knew. Who knew? That is a wild musical story we just made up. Jean Knight, Frida, Lionel Richie, and the Charlie Daniels Band. By the way, some music fan on the text line is telling me that Frida is one of the ladies from ABBA. That's why that voice sounded so unique and powerful, because it's her.
Okay.
I don't know if she's the blonde or there was a blonde and a brunette in ABBA, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was the blonde.
The blonde in ABBA? Okay.
Yeah.
Those are big voices. Big Swedish voices coming out of ABBA back in the day. All right, so coming up at 2:05, Jeff Ketchum, orangebloods.com. We'll get you more comments from Big 12 Media Days. The Jordan Whittington quote that I saw earlier that I thought was really good about the Longhorns and the quarterback position and Quinn Ewers and everything. We'll get to some other stuff. Also, Zay has a big smile on his face about something in the NFL, some comment in the NFL that he thinks is going to maybe make me upset. We'll see what that is at 2:30. But right now, it's where we at in society. Let's see what Zay wants to talk about.
Where are we at in society today?
All right, Zay, do I need to go to my Twitter? Because you know I'm so good at it.
Go to your Twitter. We got
right.
a 2-for-1. Since you're leaving, won't be here next week, I got to throw 2 at you.
Okay, here we go.
All right. The first one, where are we at today? A famous Kansas City Chief fan is now under arrest after being accused of funding his football fixation with several bank robberies across 5 states.
Oh, my God.
He stole over $844,000. And he's spending this money to go watch Patrick Mahomes dominate.
Now, I thought you were about to tell me he's timing the robberies to be during Chiefs games so everybody's at the stadium.
No.
Like, you know how they always would say back in the day in the small towns with high school football? It's
right.
like,
turn out
the lights when you leave and make sure you lock your doors, right? Because everybody's leaving.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So you got to be a serious fan. Like Patrick Mahomes, you've been watching Quarterback on Netflix.
Yeah, I started. It's really good.
It's great.
Yeah.
But he is that special. What Andy Reid is cooking over there with Travis Kelce, it's worth risking your life and robbing a few banks just so you could go to these games. That's talk about a super fan. That's pretty incredible. As dark as it is, very dark. Shouldn't be doing this. Deserves to be locked up and do some serious time. Don't drop the soap. Yeah.
So he's going to prison for a while.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But
stole almost $1 million.
Yeah.
From it's multiple banks, you said.
Right, across 5 states. So he's been around. He gets around.
So he's robbed at least 5 banks?
Yeah.
Damn.
Right?
For a little while, he was good. Sounds like he was good at it. Jeez. Like in 2023, how do you get away with bank robbery? With all the technology and the cameras and how they make the money now, right? All the watermarks and codes and all. How do you?
Yeah, you can't really go Reservoir Dogs old school, like you do.
Yeah.
Like they did back then.
Like I know we can't go Newton Boys anymore, right? Go way, way back.
Right.
We can't do that. That old school, we just blow up the safe.
Yeah, now it's more like wire fraud. Like hacking somebody's account and then taking money.
Yeah, I guess that's got to be it, right?
Yeah.
But, oh, my God.
But, yeah, like Patrick Mahomes is that good. Like, that's what I'm looking at. Like, this dude might be the greatest of all time because I know folks were robbing banks for Aikman and Elway, as good as they were, Marino. Like, I've never heard a story about, this guy is so special, I'm going to risk my life to just watch him play.
So basically, they're in court. They're about to sentence him. And would you like to say anything else? Your Honor, I understand that what I did was completely wrong and illegal. But in my defense, have you ever seen Mahomes do one of those no-look passes to Kelce where it looks like the route changed and Kelce like turns in? And I mean, have you – dude, do you know what – you know what I mean?
Have you ever seen Andy Reid call plays before? Like, come on. And, like, is the judge going to be like, you're right. You know, I was going to give you about 15 years. You got 5 now.
Did you see what Andy Reid did with Pacheco? That's crazy. I had to see it. Have you been to Arrowhead when they do the national anthem? I know. Okay.
Now, if somebody said, look, I'm going to be robbing banks because I need to go watch Zach Wilson play or a Baker Mayfield play, you should be in jail for life.
Ah, that's different?
Yes, because, you're a sociopath.
Okay.
Because you're not seeing the best football. Since it's Patrick Mahomes, you might be a little lenient when it comes to this guy doing some time. I don't know.
If I'm the judge, if I was the judge in that situation, I would definitely make sure to give him all the punishment he needs, but I would take just a little itty-bitty bit off. Being a sports fan, I'd just be like, all right, I'll take you know what? I'll take 14 days off, 2 weeks worth of an NFL season. I'll take 2 weeks off of your sentence. Boom.
Right. At least give him a TV so he could watch the Chiefs in his cell.
Oh, that's
since he's a super fan.
There you go. We will make sure you can watch Chief games in your cell and get him like a signed jersey.
Yeah.
That you can wear.
Right. Maybe not from Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't deserve that. But Isaiah Pacheco jersey, he'll take that, right?
Actually, don't give him a signed jersey. They'll beat the hell out of him in jail for that. We don't need that. We don't even go into
That's true. There might be some Raiders fans up there. We know how they could act.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
They could get a little crazy, that dog pounding stuff.
That is so funny.
The next story.
Yes.
Despite all the embarrassment from Titans quarterback Will Levis, his girlfriend, you remember her?
Oh, right, waiting in the green room?
Yeah, waiting in the green room, wearing the red dress, Gia Dundee.
She's so pretty.
Somehow she signed a deal with Burger King.
Ooh, good for her. If I get to, dude, I don't even care what comes next. If I get to look at her face instead of that stupid, creepy Burger King guy, I'm in.
So that's what you're thinking of? Like instead of King,
yeah,
oh boy, the
he's
mascot,
all creepy. He'll stand next to the bed. Give me a commercial where she's standing next to the bed.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind watching her take down the Whopper.
So she's taking advantage of this by getting a little endorsement deal.
Just weird. Like, really, how's Burger King going to use her?
Did you ever see those Carl's Jr. commercials where they just took sexy, like Paris Hilton and stuff?
That's true.
Have you ever seen a smoking hottie eat a hamburger?
Yeah.
That's how. By the way, what's their most important burger called at Burger King?
Whopper.
Yeah. A woman that looks like that trying to sell me something called a Whopper? Come on, man. I can make that ad campaign. Call me Burger King. We'll talk.
Yeah.
We will talk how to use, what's her name? Gia? Yeah, we'll talk on how you can use Gia to sell your products. Good grief. What do they say at BK? Have it your way?
Ah.
Come on now.
Yeah, they might be able to do something with that. You're right.
Zay, let me put it this way. She's going to make an argument for you of something on the menu you need to try. Then she's going to look deeply into the camera and into your soul and say, at BK, you can have it your way. And then you and me and a whole bunch of other dudes are going to knock people out of the way to get to Burger King. That's what we're going to do. Just like the first time I saw Megan Thee Stallion rocking that hottie sauce from Popeyes. I don't even like spicy food, and I almost went down there and bought that damn sandwich.
Yo, I might still have some in my closet.
Dude.
Because Megan Thee Stallion was working that Popeyes promo so well.
Come on.
You're right. They going to find something for her.
Yeah.
She's just too fine not to. But
Good for
since
her.
the draft, she has doubled in followers. And yeah, Gia might become even more famous than her boyfriend, Will Levis.
Yeah. I love that people like to get mad at the famous folks for doing exactly what we all would have done. If we were all in the situation of Levis and the girl, you're just sitting there, and yeah, you're not going to be thrilled. You're going to sit there and you're going to look bored and you're going to look distracted because you are. You're just trying to figure out what's going on. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's such a dark moment, Will Levis being selected in the second day instead of the first, which is why you got all those shots of him. They made something light of it.
Yeah.
Her getting this deal.
You know what they need to do? They need to take a still shot, a still moment of that when they were just sitting in the green room, and that shot of her just looking off in the distance, they need to twirl it around, and it'll be a Burger King menu. That's what was she really looking at? That's what she was looking at.
Yeah.
There you go.
I know CeeDee Lamb's girlfriend, she ain't getting no endorsements. When he snatched that phone from her ass, she ain't getting nothing.
She got a phone plan endorsement?
That would have been smart.
Yeah.
Something from Cricket, something.
That would have been funny if she'd gotten something from a wireless. Ryan Reynolds doing the Mint mobile or whatever.
I'll never forget. He snatched that phone from her so quick. Like, that might be the best thing I've seen a Sooner do in a very long time.
I'm telling you, dude. Stringer Bell in The Wire didn't take phones from people that fast. He didn't. Never. But then again, Stringer took care of his phones a little better than CeeDee Lamb did. All right, coming up, your 2 o'clock hour. We'll start with Jeff Ketchum from OrangeBloods.com. The reactions from Big 12 Media Days this week, the things that impressed him, some of the other teams, and his thoughts on that as we get ready for the season. We are 50 days exactly away from Texas's first game. Keep it right here on The Horn.
Chad and Zay.
All right. Nice happy beat on a Friday. It is blazing hot out there. Be careful. Chad and Zay on this Friday. I'm Chad Hastings. He is Isaiah Collier. Every day in the third hour, he picks a beat, especially for you. I do not recognize this one, Zay. Should I?
No.
No. Okay, what we got?
Big Mo. Purple Stuff.
Oh, really?
Side to side, side to side, purple stuff.
To be fair, is the purple stuff the purple drink?
Yeah.
Okay. There's no purple stuff I need to know about. There's not some like secret, pot brownie or some kind of weird food or soup that he's talking about?
Nah.
Okay.
Talking about the good old lean.
Don't say good old lean. We're telling the kids today to stay away from the lean.
Some guys have been okay on the lean.
Here's
the
my
Lil Waynes and
here's my concern, Zay, is that now we've gotten so far into it, they may not even call it the lean anymore. What do the kids call it? Because old people probably call it the lean. What do the kids call it? There's probably a new code word.
Yeah. Walk.
Excuse me?
Walk.
Walk?
Yes.
Like when you drink it, you can't walk?
Not walk, like walk.
Like W-O-K?
Yeah, like Lil Yachty literally has a song called I Took the Walk to Poland.
Really?
And performed it in Poland about 6 times.
So he does not mean walk, like he's cooking up some stir fry.
Yeah, walk means lean. So that's the way.
I am so glad you're
That's
here.
the way the kids say it nowadays.
If it wasn't for you, I would sound like a complete and utter old white guy. In fact, you know what? Between you and our next guest, I've gotten a lot of education over the years into sounding a little bit cooler than I actually am. Let's talk some Longhorns and I'm sure other stuff with one of our favorites on the Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina hotline. He is Jeff Ketchum of OrangeBloods.com at GKCatch on Twitter. And I was telling you earlier, some of these quotes that we're looking at from Big 12 Media Days, it did come from the War Room stuff that they put together every Thursday night. So if you want to check them out, you can check that out at GK Catch again on Twitter. How are you, Mr. Ketchum?
Man, I'm thinking about what a hard hustle it is that you wrote a song and it was popular and like you had the word Poland in it. And so then you went and did 6 concerts in Poland. Like that just feels like a hard hustle. Like, couldn't you put Seattle in the name and like,
you can rhyme some stuff with Vegas. I mean, come on.
It's like, he's really big in Poland. He can go over there anytime he wants to do a show.
It's tough. Yeah, you're right.
Lil Yachty's different, Catch.
It's a tough sell.
It's a new wave of rap.
Truer words have never been spoken.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, man. Speaking of something that's easy to sell right now, Catch, I think the Texas Longhorn football team is one of the easiest things to sell to people. Big 12 Media Days done now, but obviously a lot of positivity around the team, and Sarkisian's comments are getting, everybody's reacting to those. And it feels like this is a team just trying to find reasons for somebody to actually think they may not be pretty damn good. But it seems like the consensus coming out of Jerry World is Texas is definitely going to be pretty damn good. What'd you take out of the things you've read and heard and seen the last couple of days?
Oh, Chad, I wasn't ready for that question.
Terribly sorry.
It's a good one. It really is. And I don't know that anybody's going to like my answer, I suppose. So nothing really happened. I'm just at we just need to see this team be good phase of the discussion for the 2023 season. They look great on paper, but it's funny. You mentioned the War Room earlier. We spoke to Joel Klatt briefly, one of our guys, at Big 12 Media Day, Travis Gailey. And Joel Klatt loves some Longhorns, and he even gave a shout-out to Drew Kelson. But at the end of it, he's like, I've sworn myself that I won't fall for the okie doke with the Texas Longhorn football program again. And I'm like, that's fair. It's so fair. The last time we saw this team, it got played off the field by Washington. Like, that happened. That was a blowout game at one point. 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, Texas was not in that game. And, I want this team to be good. Jesus. The idea that this team would take the step with the SEC next year and Sark's recruiting at such a level. It's there. Like, man, it should happen. And yet there's this thing that gnaws at me that's like, well, we still haven't seen this team be good yet. We haven't seen Quinn Ewers be consistently good yet. We haven't seen this team, with all due respect to the way that it ended last season with those wins in the state of Kansas, we haven't seen this team consistently play well on the road. You know, it's a team with some question marks baked inside of a roster that looks sexy as hell. And so, you know, I don't know. My big takeaway from Big 12 Media Day was, I'm so tired of talking about this. Can we just see this team play Alabama? And, you know, because otherwise I feel like I'm nitpicking things, and I'm nitpicking Sark. This team looks really good. I think they're really confident, but they still got to prove it, and that's kind of, for me, the preseason theme of this team. And to be fair, when Sark was asked, like, do you expect to be here in Arlington, when he was asked that on the podium, he didn't say, yes, we expect to be here for the Big 12 championship game. He was like, we still got to be good on Monday, and we still have to be good every day of the week, and we still have to take steps. And if we take those steps, we definitely have a chance to be that kind of a team. He's exactly right. I mean, this is still a team that has a lot to prove.
Yeah, Catch, you know, just got to see it. I mean, their talk is cheap, but Steve Sarkisian and those guys have to prove it. One thing that stood out that Sark said on Big 12 Media Days was the running back room is still wide open with Savion Red, C.J. Baxter, Jaden Blue, Keelan Robinson, and Jonathan Brooks. All those guys are going to be battling for reps, and when, you know, camp comes around, and you still don't know who's going to be able to replace that guy that plays for the Falcons and the other guy that plays for the Bears now. What are you expecting from the running backs with what you've seen in spring ball to now?
I think that's a position where it's like everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And I think we think Jonathan Brooks is going to be the starter. I'd bet a sizable amount of money that game one he's the starter. But, you know, he hasn't had extended every week action in his career, so we don't really know what we're going to get with Jonathan Brooks. And you've got a 5-star running back prospect in C.J. Baxter. You know, he's a freshman, so you think about things like pass protection and what does it mean? What does it tell the defense when he's on the field? But he's a 5-star running back. Like, he's going to get his work. He's going to – you know how you get other 5-stars? When you get a 5-star, you play the hell out of them early. And then you go to those other 5-stars and you say, hey, you can play right away next year. Look at how we use C.J. Baxter. And it's like, yep, played since day one. I think Jonte Cook has a little bit of that going, right? Like, if you want to get 5-star receivers, wink, wink, Micah Hudson, wink, wink, Ryan Wingo. Like, the best way to do that is show them an example of someone who's exactly like them and be like, yo, that dude caught 5 passes in his first game. And, you know, so there's a lot of things that go behind how you build a program, how you continue to improve a program. When we look at the running back position, I think C.J. Baxter is going to have a heavy load. I think you wonder what Jaden Blue, like what is he going to be? Is Savion Red going to take snaps away from Keelan Robinson, who is so important to this coaching staff in the bowl game that, you know, they force-fed action to him between the tackles to, like, say, we're committed to you. I think that was a please don't transfer kind of audition of like, hey, look how things might look next year. So they just got a bunch of dudes, and I have that position has fewer answers right now, definitive answers than probably any other position on the field. And I think that's just going to be – I think by the time you get to the end of the Alabama game, you're going to have a pretty good idea suddenly what the Texas running game looks like and who it needs to go through. But I think by the end of the first month, you'll definitely have that. And if you don't, that's probably not a great sign. So this is a question that gets answered, I think, pretty early in September. But if we get to September and we're still having these conversations like, God, who's going to emerge? That feels more problematic than it would need to be. You hope for it to be. I think the Texas running game is going to be fine, but I don't have any answers.
Talking with Jeff Ketchum, orangebloods.com. All right, Ketch, on the recruiting front, I'm going to make a simpleton recruiting argument, and then you tell me if it makes any sense or if there's a better breakdown argument. Melvin Hills, the latest guy in the 2024 class, the DN out of Louisiana. My simpleton argument is if Texas beat out a guy from Louisiana that LSU offered, that's a big get. What would you say?
On paper, yeah. Like, I'm not going to say that 100% of the time. And, offers in college football are cheap these days. I had a stat in our war room last night. I was in a conference call at Rivals this week. There are double-digit number of teams in college football that offer 400-plus players a year or 400 players last year. Like, offers go out to everybody. So sometimes when you look at an offer list, it's not what it appears to be. There will be guys this year that sign with Northern Arizona, and you'll look at their offer list and you'll go, hey, is Alabama offered this guy? There will be a little bit of that. And we were literally talking about, from an industry standpoint, we need to kind of address, what does it mean if we've got a kid rated as 2 stars, but he has major program offers, but they weren't committable, and they just have become really cheap. Everybody gets an offer. But to the spirit of your question, yes. And I really like Melvin Hills. I think I like him more than all of the services. Rivals has him as the 8th best prospect in the state of Louisiana. That just sounds good. There are certain states where if you tell me a kid's a top 10 high school prospect from that state in any given year, he's a take. That Melvin Hills, I think, falls into that category. He's an interesting guy. He is, I think, a 5 technique, and particularly at the high school level, like a badass. But he's a little undersized. We have him listed at 6'3" in the Rivals database, and I think 24/7 also had him listed at 6'3". What does that mean when his shoes are off? How tall is he really? And he's 277 pounds, so he's just a little bit of a tweener as a 5 technique, which those guys tend to be tall and, taller. So there's some thought that he might be an inside guy eventually. That what we're really looking at is a guy that is eventually going to be a 300-plus pound guy, and he can play in the interior in a couple of different roles. What's just interesting about him is I think he's at his best when he's in space. So when he's playing as a 5 technique, dudes have a hard time just getting their hands on him. He can go in either direction. He's quick and he's fast and he's athletic, and he may not be elite in all those categories, but he's a handful. And guys, when he's in space, he's a problem. You don't see as much physical hand-to-hand combat going through guys. You don't see that as the best parts of him right now. He can do it, and you can watch his highlight film, and you'll see some of that. But the thing that will make you go, oh, this guy, okay, is when he's able to kind of use this athleticism, not be a brute force, and really be kind of an exciting outside edge player. So the question will be, can he physically be a guy at 6'3"-ish, 277 pounds? Is he going to stay there? And if he is moved inside, can he adjust his style a little bit in the sense that, like I said, he doesn't do a lot of interior line stuff right now. Most of his best stuff, sometimes he's in a 2-point stance. Sometimes he's just a flat-out edge player. It's hard to know how that game will convert. But he is, for me, I think he's an absolute 4-star type of prospect. And I like watching him play football. He's a fun guy to watch. I think There's some excitement with him he's an exciting 6'3", 277-pound young man. So it's a commitment I think for Texas you absolutely take. I don't think there's any question about that. And it puts a flagpole in Louisiana, another one for Texas, for Sarkisian to say, this is our home away from home. And in recruiting, we're going to be competitive with every single top 10 kid in the state of Louisiana. You know, there are other Louisiana kids that they're recruiting, and Texas wants to be a school that is synonymous with the elite of the elite in Louisiana. And so I think this is an investment into Louisiana as well. So I think there's actually a lot of value with his commitment.
Catch, Joey McGuire seemed very confident yesterday at Big 12 Media Days.
Joey McGuire, let's do it. Come on.
Yeah, Joey wearing that loud-ass red suit, which I like the Mike Leach tribute. I appreciate that, but that suit was very loud, talking about his quarterback room might be not the best, not only in the Big 12, but the nation, saying even without Tyree Wilson, who was a first-round pick this year in the NFL draft, they might have one of the best defensive lines in the nation. Is Joey blowing smoke here? Does he have something with his Texas Tech crew in 2023?
I think Joey McGuire thinks he's a good coach. Okay? First and foremost, this is a guy that's had success everywhere he's been. It's high school, but it's high school in the state of Texas. He was an elite Texas high school football head coach. So I think he feels a certain kind of way about the quality of his craft. I also think he's about that, wanting that smoke, and Chad, I think, will appreciate this. If you're going to have success in Texas Tech, you better be about that life and about inviting a fight and kind of an I don't give a damn attitude.
Yeah, agree.
And that's what Mike. I mean, when you want to talk about the success that Texas Tech has actually had as a program, it's because they have a head coach who really doesn't give an F, and so it's possible that he's got some of that. Like, think about after they beat Texas last year in the locker room, and he's wilding out there like the Big 12 comes through Lubbock. Like, what are you talking about, right? But you know what? But you know what? We're talking about them this year, and it's like, hey, is Texas Tech legit? And I think part of Texas Tech becoming a little more legit is for the coach and the players in that program to think, you know what? We know something about us that y'all don't know. I think they've got a chip on their shoulder. I think there may be some faux confidence there. But you know what? Sometimes people take fake confidence and they mold it into the real thing. It's kind of that whole fake it till you make it thing. And we may be seeing some fake it till you make it with Joey McGuire. However, that team finished the season incredibly well. I think they won their last 5 games. They won their bowl game. That's if Texas had finished its season. Think about what we're already doing with Texas, right? Top 10. Are they playoff contenders? Should they win the Big 12? Think about what we're saying about a Texas team that did not win its last 5 games. Imagine a world where Texas had won its last 5 games. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Quinn Ewers, preseason Heisman favorite. All of the stuff that's already being talked about, we would already see it magnified to even the next level. So I think Texas Tech actually has some solid foundation for, confidence. And you know what? They did beat Texas and Oklahoma in the same year last year. So whatever we want to say about Texas Tech and what they're not, they were hot. They ended the season better than anybody else in the conference, maybe outside of Texas Tech. TCU and Kansas State lost their last games of the season. Texas Tech on a winning streak. And, in their locker room, everybody's talking about Texas and Oklahoma in their last year. Joey McGuire is telling his players, fellas, we beat those 2 teams last year, and we're better now. We're going to be better. This is, year 2 for me. And so let's see. Texas Tech for me is kind of a fun team that they may get knocked on their backside really quick, and we'll all chuckle at the show that Joey put on and like the some of the things that we've heard come out of him, or maybe Texas Tech's a really interesting team, and that game at the end of the year against Texas is suddenly one of the more fascinating games on the schedule.
Yeah, and speaking of fascinating games, as we pointed out, Catch, this week, a lot of people will be focused on September 9th, obviously on Texas at Alabama, or maybe you're focused on A&M at Miami. How about Texas Tech hosting Oregon? That happens September 9th, too. Joey McGuire,
that's what I'm saying.
He hosts Oregon week 2. All this bravado will get tested right away.
Yeah, and like I said, we all have receipts. So should it work, you tip your cap and you go, okay, they talk that talk and now they're walking the walk. If it is something less than that, we're going to clown on them. And like Texas Tech fan base needs to be ready for that we're fully ready to like tip our caps.
Yep.
But if they're 2-2 after 4 games, or this ends up being a 7-5 football team, we're going to snicker at like some of the stuff that was said, and kind of how we think about you and Joey McGuire potentially will change forevermore moving forward. If you talk this big and come up really small. So like the stakes are high. I like that. That's fun.
Yep.
That's fun college football when a team has really high stakes on the line. And it's been a while, I think, since Texas Tech has had stakes other than their coach being fired with Kingsbury a few years ago. This is a program that for the last 10 years hasn't entered a season with stakes involved. So good for them. And like, be ready, because we will clown the hell out of you if you're 7-5 and like you get blown out by Texas at the end of the season. You'll be a punchline. But if you back it up, hey, I'm prepared to give them their due and be like, hey, right on, man.
Yeah.
You guys called it? And I can appreciate the hell out of that.
Yeah, I'm going to go on record and say I hope you're right that they're 2-2, because that means if Oregon beats them, it'll mean they also lost at Wyoming, against Tarleton State, or at West Virginia. So I'm with you. I want to see that 2-2. I think that would be great for Joey McGuire to have to eat. That is Jeff Ketchum, orangebloods.com, at GKCatch on Twitter. All right, Catch, stay
careful, Chad. I think he may be the next head coach at Texas A&M.
Well, look, I'm not saying he might not look good in maroon one day. I mean, that's a whole different discussion. And how dare you for even bringing such a thing up? There's a whole lot of
saying you might be his biggest fan someday. So just keep that in mind when you're watching games this year.
Yeah, right now I'm just in the Bobby Petrino fan club, fortunately or unfortunately. We got to take baby steps, one step at a time. Catch, have a good weekend. Please be careful. It is going to be historically hot, so stay cool, stay indoors, and we will hit you next week, man. Thank you.
Later, guys.
Good
Thanks,
stuff.
Catch.
Jeff Ketchum, orangebloods.com. A lot of stuff coming out of Big 12 Media Days. We'll get you that Jordan Whittington quote we've been talking about, his comment on Quinn Ewers that I think Texas fans will be excited about. Plus, Zay's got something for me and one of my NFL teams. That means there's something going on with a Cowboy or a Buck. We'll see what it is next and why today matters on The Horn.
Chad and Zay.
All right, rolling through a Friday. Bodies going side to side. Who you got, Zay?
3-6 Mafia.
Okay.
Featuring Bow Wow, Project Pat. God, these guys had hits.
That's catchy stuff, man. You said 3-6 Mafia is Memphis, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. 3-6 Mafia, Gene Knight, Frida, Lionel Richie, Charlie Daniels Band. It's all been a part of the show today. What's that one called?
Side to side.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Do we have like an official dance that goes with this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
Just side to side.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah. Oh,
Not
DJ
well,
Palm,
but
Juicy J, they literally tell you how to do it. Club
Okay.
posted up, got my arms folded, blunt in my mouth, and these haters know I'm swollen. I'm twisting my body from side to side.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, man. Those dudes that don't get down at the club, don't do no MC Hammer type stuff. You just trying to chill, but
Right.
also got a little groove. That's what this is
Yeah,
for.
the only kind of dancing I've ever been involved in, I call the totem pole. I'm just on the floor. If anyone wants to dance around me, I'll probably just be holding the drink, just kind of, what's up? How are you? Good to see you. I can't. There's no moves.
Oh, man. Just
I have
by the
nothing.
way, shout out to our guy, Derek Cohen, who came in here to holla at me. Phillip Rivers just had kid number 10, Chad.
I saw that. They're like pregnant with 10 or they're about to have 10.
They're about
or
to have 10, something like that.
And they're excited.
Why?
They're thrilled.
Look, have you ever seen the movie Cheaper by the Dozen?
Those kind of
Steve
movies,
Martin?
they exhaust me.
Oh, that
I can't watch those movies.
great movie, but absolutely terrifying.
Those are horror movies to me.
They're this.
I don't want to even think about
I
it.
love Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, all those guys that have been doing those family comedy movies over the years and stuff. That one, if you talk about a birth control movie or any type of motivation to where you strap on the Jimmy hat extra tight, it's those movies. And Phillip Rivers, I don't know why they're excited. This fool's 41. His oldest is 21. 21, he's got a kid that's almost about to graduate college. And he's still popping them out. Wow, Phillip. Wow.
That's a fertile man.
Yeah. And it's not like it was during his playing day. It's like now he actually has to raise the kids. There's no coming home and saying, oh, I got to watch film from today's game or the next opponent and stuff. Them days are over. Now you're doing the diaper duty and taking the kids to daycare and soccer games and stuff. His role has changed.
Did he not get a broadcasting gig?
I don't think so. You
No?
remember he was doing high school coaching for a little bit. I think he was coaching his kids.
That's
maybe.
right. That's right. Yeah.
But I don't think he's in the booth anywhere.
Whew. Good luck to that family, man. Good luck to them if that's what you want
He
to do.
needs that snip, or she needs a tube top something. Like, wow. And bless her heart too.
Did you say tube's tied or tube top?
Tied.
Okay, because I think the tube top might have been the
That-
problem. that might have been what led us to 10. She just looks too good in the tube top. That's the problem. Happy baby number 10 to Phillip Rivers. That would be why today matters to the Rivers family. Let's get into why today matters to us on July 14th, headed to a weekend. All right, Zay, I'm going to see if I can get you excited again as a Texas fan. We were going through some of these quotes from Big 12 Media Days. I liked this one from Jordan Whittington talking about how Ewers has been named QB1, unquestioned starter. Quote, damn near every year that I've been here, it's been unsteady. By now you have a quarterback that they've already said, but now you have a quarterback that they've already said is starting, and I think that helps build a great team. I mean, everybody knows the pieces of the puzzle. Everybody knows what they have to do. And then you've got the other guys that know that if stuff happens, they've got to step up. I'm excited to actually have gone through 2 semesters of off-season knowing who the guy is. He's ready, end quote.
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
That's got to be a bit of a comforting thing as a fan base to know that it's that solid. That's the kind of comment that always makes me argue for. If you know it, tell them. Even if you don't tell us, tell them.
Right.
Tell the team. If you want to say there's a battle with the media and there really needs to be, okay. But to me, as soon as you know who that guy is, I think you tell your team who it is because of a comment like that.
I agree. Another thing that stuck out what Jordan Whittington said about Quinn Ewers, we had some guys that were talking while he was talking, and he was basically said, you don't talk when I'm talking. Y'all listen to me and follow my lead. Nobody talked back. That's when I knew Quinn Ewers was that guy.
Yeah, that's a good example.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. Check them, Quinn. If they raising their voice and stuff, you trying to get that message off, hey, yo, you over there, shut the hell up.
Right.
Shut the hell up. I'm captain right now. I'm the Bijan, those guys are gone. We need a new voice up in here. And coming from the quarterback, hey, that's the best case scenario. I love that stuff, man. And Jordan Whittington, he's had so many injuries throughout his career. Just a big part of him coming back, him being healthy. He's never been healthy consistently other than last year throughout his whole tenure at Texas. So if you have any eligibility left, why not come back and make the most of it? I know he's itching to prove himself even more and win the Big 12 title on his way out. And yeah, man, Jordan Whittington, his relationship with Bevo, he's a great guy, great interview, and I hope he has a terrific season.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those weapons you got to pay attention to, man. If you're a defense, worrying about him as well as everything else, it's got to be tough. Big 12 Media Days now behind us, obviously getting ready for the season, 50 days away from Texas's first game.
And remember when Shano came into town to holler at Sark, if I'm Steve Sarkisian with Jordan Whittington's background of being a running back, well, he was everything in his high school days at Cuero, and Shanahan coming in, why wouldn't you want to implement some of what they do with Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey? Because you got guys, it doesn't matter where they get the ball, as long as they get the ball, they can do something with it. So, hopefully Sark could spice it up a little bit and put guys in situations that we maybe haven't seen, but will definitely be beneficial for not only them, but for the team.
All right, Zay, another reason why today matters. You're telling me there's some kind of update on one of my NFL teams. So we talking Cowboys, we talking Bucks here?
We're talking Bucks.
Oh, good Lord. Here we go.
So it's not too bad, I guess, but Antoine Winfield the second, or junior, excuse me, Antoine Winfield. Is it second or is it junior? It just says Antoine Winfield here. But I know.
I thought he was junior.
I feel like he's junior.
Yeah, the safety out of Minnesota, right?
Yeah, I know Satan's the second, but I don't know. His dad played in the NFL too. But former Super Bowl champ, he said this about the quarterback situation and Tom Brady on him maybe unretiring, which is wild to me.
He said, now.
I'm sure we're still reaching out to him, trying to see if he's trying to come back to the team. Hey, it could happen. Anything's possible. He said that on Richard Sherman's podcast.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I don't want
Baker, Kyle Trask. How does that make y'all feel?
Yeah, I mean, I get that the person he's talking about is Tom Brady, but you are making a comment about, let me see if I get the math right. You're making a comment about a 45-year-old man that's retired twice.
Yes, who now might be dating Kim Kardashian.
And you're going to run your mouth about him while you got quarterbacks trying to – I mean, you don't have one quarterback on your roster that for sure knows he's one of 32. You don't have one, including Baker.
Yeah.
They're trying to prove it, and you're doing that to him?
Yeah, if I'm the front office for Tampa Bay, I'm letting Junior know, yo, dog, chill. We don't need these problems. He is gone. He is an owner now. Again, he might be hanging out with Kim Kardashian and stuff, so I don't even know if we want him back. And, Chad, we talked about the stat this week on 3rd and 5 and over and the completion rating. Tom Brady was at the bottom of the league at 17%.
I was shocked he was in the bottom 10, but he was at the absolute bottom.
The absolute bottom.
That's crazy.
So, as great as he is.
By the way, Baker was next to last, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was around
right
there, too. Yeah, very close.
Yeah.
So, as great as he's been throughout his career, one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest, I wouldn't say anything like this. And maybe Richard Sherman set him up, but this is one that Richard Sherman asked a question like, how bad are y'all going to miss Brady? Would you take him back, etc.? Come on, dog. You wipe that off. You brush that off very easily. Tom's retired now. We got Baker and Trask battling it out. both of those guys can get the job done. That's it. Even if you don't think they can.
Sure.
Just for that, like,
look,
camaraderie and just having everybody say in the locker room, you say stuff like that.
And you can obviously say, if I'm Mike Evans and they ask me a question like that, in your answer, you can say, well, obviously you're going to miss playing with Tom Brady. He's Tom Brady. At 65 years old, he could probably still play this game pretty well. So, yeah, I'm going to miss playing with Tom, of course, but we believe in our guys.
Yeah.
We believe in our guys. We're working with this team, and we're working with, to getting better. You just get it out there and go.
Yeah. I saw old Barstool owner, Dave Portnoy. He, went off about Tom Brady dating Kim Kardashian.
Really?
He was so disgusted.
He's mad about it?
We don't date that. We don't date Kardashians and stuff like that. How can you speak for Tom? For one, Tom is single now. He can do what he wants. You don't have to be dating. It could be a fling. Everybody wants to think that somebody has to, date and be in a relationship and do stuff. It could be a booty call. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And I would go, let's go to that next level. Tom Brady and Kim Kardashian can't have platonic friendships?
Exactly. They can't be cool. They can't hang on the beach and dance with one another and not have anything really going on.
Attractive people are not allowed to just be friends? That's unfair. That's unfair. Pretty people bashing is what that is.
Yeah, I would love a Tom Brady, Kim Kardashian relationship.
Oh, my God, it'd be great. It'd be so great.
Right after Giselle, that would be so petty of him.
What would you call him? Tom Dashian?
Oh.
Kim Brady?
Yeah, Kim Brady.
Yeah. Brady Ashian?
I don't know.
Kim Brady's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Putting her name first would be good, too. Everybody would like that. You put her name before Tom's, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, and I've seen the video with Ray J and stuff. She's gotten better since then. That was almost a decade ago. She's gotten better. She probably ain't dead fish like she was in the video put out. She's definitely gotten better. Her skills have, she's got more experience. Her skills are, a lot more tuned up. Tom Brady should experience that.
I'm all about you watching film and breaking it down on the show, but let's not go that far. All right? Let's not go that far when you're talking about that performance. All right? Please, let's not do that.
Ray J, you my boy, dog. You did your thing.
Why Today Matters. We do it every day about 2:30. Coming up, Stems and Seeds, and then we get you off the ball. Don't lie. Rod, Harge, and Patrick on this Friday. Super hot out there. Be careful this weekend. We'll get you a little bit more before we get out of here, including if you missed this big old penalty that Tennessee football got hung on them today. We'll tell you what's there and what's not there next on The Horn.
Chad and Zay.
When you have to go heavy edit, it sounds like they have the hiccups sometimes. What? What? Hey,
I'm from Southside, mother.
All right, who we finishing up with, Zay?
50.
That would have been my guess. Is this new or old?
This is old.
Okay.
Yeah, it's off his second album, Massacre in My Hood.
All right. Look at you going with some numbers this hour. 50 Cent following 3-6 Mafia. And then Gene Knight, Frida, Lionel Richie, Charlie Daniels Band earlier. The Big Mo beat to start the hour. Kids, stay away from the purple stuff. Stay away from that purple stuff. Stay away from the cocaine. We had a cocaine-powered song earlier. Stay away from both. Just listen to the music. Don't deal with the stuff. It'll get you in some trouble. All right, at minimum, it'll get you into some trouble, maybe worse. All right, so lots of football talk today. We've been talking Big 12 Media Days, finishing up yesterday. Texas coming off of that. All the other Power 5 conferences are coming with Media Days. I think SEC is next week, and then the others will roll out after that. There's always crazy drama at SEC Media Days. That experience for the Longhorns and Sooners Day is about to maybe double in insanity.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, whoever asked Nick Saban that first question, just go out and just say, hey, Nick, what are you pissed off at right now?
Yeah.
Man, he'll ramble.
Oh, that's...
You know he's going to be mad at something.
That is why they should start. That's how they should start. The moderator should say, all right, instead of saying, we'll take a comment from the coach, an opening statement, and then answer questions, it'll be, all right, Coach Saban's ready to go. Coach, if you could just bitch about something that is unnecessary for you to bitch about, and then we'll ask questions. That would be great. They'd fire him instantly, but that would be excellent if somebody had the guts to do that. All right, let's get into, speaking of the SEC and football and craziness, let's get into stems and seeds and tell you what happened to Tennessee today.
No stress, no seeds, no stems, no sticks.
Brought to you by AV Consultations, 255-8678, or go to avconsultations.com. Now, if you believe that the NCAA needs to hand down postseason bans to really get these teams' attentions, well, they didn't really do much to Tennessee today because there is no postseason ban. But they found over 200 violations with Tennessee football. They're on 5 years probation, get an which could be $9 million fine when it's all put together, reduce scholarships by 28. They take away 32 visits, I believe it is. And Zay, I have never heard of the coach involved getting punished exactly like this. Jeremy Pruitt, this is all during Pruitt's time. He has been given a 6-year show cause order, and he would be suspended for the first full season if he is hired by an NCAA school. Wow. I've never heard that before.
That's intense.
Oh, my God.
It's pretty intense.
Oh, I am not going to go over all the different things, but there were 18 level 1 violations for the Tennessee Volunteers, the most severe in the NCAA rule structure. July 2022 is when it happens. It includes more than 200 infractions and charges of $60,000 in impermissible benefits, and both Pruitt and his wife made cash payments to families, players' families.
Damn, he got wifey involved too?
The coach, wait a minute, he was coaching in like the late 2010s into 2020. He and his wife were making direct payments to players' families?
You know, I get like baking a cake or a brownie every once in a while for the team, but not handing them cash, wifey. Come on now. That's some Bonnie and Clyde stuff.
Again, I would never tell you to do it, but if you're going to do it right. Find a middleman. Find it. Yeah. What are you doing? What? Huh? Rolls of tape. Put the money, bags that can be given, but not by you.
Yeah, they made that too easy.
What are you doing? It's like they showed up to the airport and they found 50 kilos of cocaine. And the drug lord was the one putting it on the plane. What do you mean? He was the one? You couldn't send somebody down there?
Chad, have a great time with your family next week.
I will,
work
man.
Very hard here. It's well-deserved. Have a blast.
I will, man. Thank you. And remember, next week, Zay's going to be here. Zay and Bucky, special shows Monday and Tuesday. Always love hearing those two go back and forth. Wednesday, Cam Parker.
Yep.
Thursday,
Keenan Womack.
Keenan Womack from
Friday,
Orange Bloods.
We don't know yet. I'm still figuring that out.
Friday, question mark.
Yeah.
The Riddler.
Yeah, we'll
next,
see.
Next Friday. All right.